Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Corpses Reign podcast, where we talk about all things horror and horror movie related. I'm your host, Dylan. With me always is your host, Jalen. What's up, Jalen?
What's up?
And your host, Ken. What's going on,
What up,
Ken?
man? How y'all doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. You want me to call you Ken or Kenny or what?
Whatever you want, man. It don't really
All
matter.
right, cool. So,
Yeah, it's
what's
all
up?
good.
What's up? What have y'all been up to?
Yo, man, I've had a busy ass day today. I gotta say.
Really, what's up?
Yeah, I had a long ass day. I was like I told you earlier, I like installed gym equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was fucking. We went to a local college, and then we didn't even install everything. We had to unpack everything from the truck and then leave it for Thursday because they're laying the floor tomorrow. So I gotta come back, but I had to get up fucking early as shit for that shit. So, but I'm glad to be back here.
At least you're fit for that shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
man,
bodybuilder over
barely.
here.
Fucking barely, bro.
So, anything y'all been watching or playing lately?
Shit, not really. I just been playing Cyberpunk right now.
Cyberpunk, yeah. The next gen
Lots of
update was really good, I
Cyberpunk.
heard.
Just because they watched Edge Runners.
Yeah, I heard that was really good too. I haven't
Wait,
played
no,
it since it was out
I
on
didn't
PC,
finish it,
like
but
when it first came out.
first came
How you
out,
like
it was
it?
like
Fine?
it was like unplayable, bro.
Yeah, it was unplayable. That shit was
It was-
terrible.
it was
Yeah, it was pretty
crazy.
bad.
It was
Yeah,
I didn't-
pretty
A good
bad.
friend of mine was playing it a lot. I watched it play it. It was fucking
I
looked
don't-
fucking buggy.
Don't know if y'all remember the part in the game when like you get the biochip. You first get the biochip and you put it in your head. That part
Oh,
for
yeah,
me
yeah.
when I first played that game, I swear to God, the biochip was not a biochip. It was a pistol. And I like he tried to hand. I took a clip of it on my Xbox. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And he's got the biochip in his hand, and it's a pistol, and he's holding it like it's a fucking small chip, so it doesn't work. So it's like clipping into his hand, and it doesn't look right. And I like grab it and put it in my head like it's so crazy.
That's awful. It's
I
not like
can't-
that now anymore, right?
No, it's really good
night,
now.
It's like
Okay,
night and
yeah.
day now. It's like night and
Okay.
day.
Like there's still some weird shit. Like when you're driving, there's pop in with cars and stuff and NPCs. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's a lot better.
That's
when
good, man, 'cause-
it's what's weird is I first played it on PC when it first came out, and I mean my rig isn't very good, but I had like a great time with it. I barely had any of the glitches that anyone else had.
Man,
cool.
I wish I could say the same thing. I had every
Yeah.
glitch that everybody had. That game was like, I had to stop
Yeah,
playing it when I first got
It was unplayable on consoles. Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I was about to
crazy.
say. I mean, I had a PS4. It fucking broke, but I wasn't even gonna bother getting it on console just because of what I heard. I was like, eh.
Yeah,
nah.
they literally took it off the PlayStation Store. It was so bad for like a
yeah,
year.
I remember that.
So
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
I've
They were
never
giving
seen that happen
everybody
before.
Refunds. You know, they did that with Anthem too, though. They took it off
Yeah,
the
they did do
PlayStation
that
Store
with
for
Anthem.
Anthem.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
breaking people's consoles because it was like
Yeah,
crashing so bad.
Bro, you would think with the fucking years of experience these people have that like they would put out a product that doesn't fuck your shit up.
You know, I want to say that shit, but when it's EA, you never know because
Oh,
EA is such a corrupt company, and they be fucking
Especially
over
BioWare.
everybody.
Because
BioWare
they're mainly
and EA
RPG.
are part of that.
They're mainly RPG single player developers, and they made a fucking live service game. Like, what did you expect?
I mean,
Yeah.
and Andromeda was awful.
Andromeda? Yeah, it was pretty bad,
that-
but I mean,
that Andromeda
yeah.
was
Yeah,
bad,
Mass
and that
Effect,
was
yeah.
their last game that they had before that one came out. And I was like, already like, man, I was suspect when Anthem got announced. I was
Well,
like,
that's the thing, man. Like they ruined a lot of stuff. Like originally they had Dead Space, and that the first two games were fantastic.
yeah, by
and then-
Visceral, and they got shut down.
Yeah, and then they got acquired by EA, right? And then it
that
was
remake
over.
though.
Yeah.
That
The remake looks.
though.
Oh my god, that shit looks insane.
remake
man.
looks crazy.
But I've been listening to and watching a lot of WWF shit lately, like from the '90s.
Oh,
I don't know
God.
why. I've just been so interested in it because I've been
Yeah.
I bought WWE 2K22 because it was on sale on the PSN
I
store.
didn't even know they still made those. Wow.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
they
it's
do.
actually really good.
Every
The,
year they still make those, bro.
I had no idea, man.
They actually skipped a year last year. They didn't do 2K21.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because 2K20 was so fucking bad. They were like, all right, we're gonna take
and
a
I
year
bought
off.
that one. I bought that one, and I
That
was
one
like,
was
what the fuck is this?
Garbage.
Game was
But,
so bad.
2K22 was actually really fucking good. And I found this YouTube channel. I don't know the name of it, but it's this guy that like
Who-
he breaks down every single year of like the WWE and what happened that year. And there's a
Yeah.
full compilation of like 1990 to 1999.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. He goes pretty in detail with everything, and like he breaks down like an entire fight between like Hogan and Ric Flair and shit like that. It's
cool.
great. Yeah.
What's your favorite wrestler?
I don't even know, bro. I'm not even that in touch with wrestling. I used to fuck
I
with
like
Undertaker
Macho
pretty
Man.
hard.
I'm like Macho Man
Yeah,
all day.
Macho.
Savage.
Randy Savage. Those Slim Jim commercials. Strapped into a Slim Jim.
I was watching the
Shit used to
interview
have me
earlier.
weak.
I was watching the fucking Cream of the Crop interview earlier.
Oh God,
seen that
yes.
I'm the
Yes, I
cream of
have.
the crop.
And he keeps pulling those creams out of nowhere, at the back
And then
part of his
throwing
hand,
them.
throwing them at the camera guy.
God, it's so
Dude,
stupid.
when I was a kid, I think DX was like gigantic, man. I mean, it was like, what was it, John Cena, and then what was it? I don't remember the team. Like all my friends were into the wrestling stuff. I never really watched it, but yeah, the DX suck it stuff was huge.
Anything in the early 2000s.
all the fucking time. Say again.
Anything in the early 2000s, I'm so just blank on. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I
That stuff was
I used to watch it in like the early 2010s, and then everything from the 90s I fuck with, and just so that in between I have no idea.
I was
Yeah, all
never a
that stuff.
committed fan. I always
Yeah.
just watched it in passing
Just
on
casually.
TV.
Right.
I was super into Rey Mysterio though. I liked Rey
Rey
Mysterio.
Mysterio,
Full.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon
He's
as
actually on the
jumping
cover
around
of
and
2K22.
spinning around people's heads and shit. They better fool. They didn't even put him in 20, and I was pissed off. They left Sin Cara in there. I'm like, who even fucking is Sin Cara?
Is he still wrestling, Rey Mysterio?
I don't think so. You know, he killed somebody.
I was gonna
Really?
say
He killed like he wrestles in Mexico, and he did the 619. You know that when he throws them on the ropes, and they did that shit where they hit the ropes, and then he goes and does that kick. As soon as he hit the ropes, the dude got whiplash.
Really?
He passed
Holy
away.
shit.
You can watch the video on YouTube. I've seen this
I didn't
shit
even know that.
multiple times. You can just look up Rey Mysterio killing someone in the ring.
When
He
was it?
stopped
Was it
wrestling
recent?
After
Was
that.
it recently?
It was a while ago. That was a long time ago.
What the fuck?
I don't know if he wrestled after that.
WWE star Rey Mysterio once killed someone during a match. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
You didn't know this?
No, I had no idea.
He
Shit,
didn't
I'm
do
sure
the
they all
kick
signed.
though. He didn't even do the kick. Like when he goes to spin around with the kick, he realized something was wrong with the dude, and he threw his legs over the rope. Thank God he didn't kick that dude like dead in the face after he was already dead. That'd be rough.
The only athlete death I really remember is what the fuck is that race car guy's name? I'll never remember. Was it
Race car
Was
guy.
it Dale Earnhardt?
Dale Earnhardt.
Was it him?
The Dale call. You
Oh,
remember those Mountain Dew commercials?
fuck you.
Yeah, he
Dale
died
Cole.
in 2001. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember because my dad was really beat up about it because my dad's a big NASCAR guy, and he was like,
Oh, okay,
"What
okay.
the?" Yeah, he like fucking blew up or something like in his car.
Yeah, some shit. It
Oh,
was in the
that's sad,
Daytona
dude.
500.
Yeah.
2001, Daytona 500.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. But then now
I
his
don't
son's
remember
like
that
the
at all.
fucking greatest racer of all time or whatever.
Oh,
Go
for real?
figure, right?
That's badass.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah,
Usually,
Earnhardt.
the
racer,
guy that looks-
usually the kids suck ass.
Yeah.
Like a celebrity
ain't-
kids
it ain't-
suck.
It ain't basketball, man. It's something different. It ain't-
Well, going
True.
actually going back to wrestling, Shane McMahon's not too bad.
I mean, all the McMahon people, even McMahon, the daughter and then the son, they're all really good.
Right.
Yeah.
But they play that part. They're just assholes. They're good at being douchebags.
Yeah, honestly.
That's all they're good at doing.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been, I actually just watched Hereditary like 2 days ago. Still a terrifying movie. We'll talk about it later, of course.
Yeah, that movie is. Yeah.
And I've been playing a lot of Silent Hill 2, the original, in preparation for the Silent Hill 2 remake.
For the remake, I still have to
Oh,
watch the
shit.
trailer. I haven't seen.
It's-
the
Looks
game.
dope.
It's all right. I mean, the Resident Evil 4 trailer fucking blew it out the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that gameplay looks. Yeah,
It looks
I
insane.
I
Yeah.
am blown away, honestly.
That's the
Me
first game in a
too.
while I'm genuinely excited for.
I mean, I'm trying to
me
get
too.
God of War Ragnarok. That comes out in a few weeks.
I don't have a fucking PlayStation, so I'm trying not to pay
Exactly.
attention to shit like that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude, that's like your
that'll
favorite
come
game,
out-
too.
Yeah,
That'll
you
come out
don't
on
even,
PC.
bro. Don't do that to me. You already know.
You need to get a
I
PS5,
love God
bro.
of War.
That'll
love
come out
God
for
of War.
PC, I think, though, because the God of War 4 is on PC.
Yeah.
So I think Ragnarok comes out for PC as well, probably just later on.
Yeah, maybe like a year.
First, I think it's PS5 and PS4, and then Steam. They'll get it on Steam later on.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
the game looks fucking like out of this world. It just looks
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. There's a lot of good games coming out right now.
Yeah, all these games look sick, man. For real.
Really?
Callisto Protocol. Have y'all seen that one?
You know, it's funny
Yeah.
because just 20 minutes ago, I was thinking to myself about how that game is just a ripoff of Dead Space. But, like, it's not so much in concept, but literally in how the game looks. I'm like, this is just a Walmart Dead Space. And
Well,
then I look at the remake, and I'm like, what is even the point of Callisto Protocol now?
Well, the thing is the director of Dead Space is making that game, Callisto Protocol.
Oh man, really?
I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
It's like a
I-
spiritual successor.
Okay, then.
the way that it looks, though, I'm like, it just
Yeah, it
looks
looks-
like it looks
too
so
similar.
ripped off.
Yeah, it
It
looks
just
like
looks too
almost the exact
similar.
same.
Like,
I think
all
it
the
looks.
mechanics look way too similar.
I think it looks really fucking good though. I'm still gonna play it day one. It's got that
too.
it's got that HUD that's on the character, which I really like.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish-
don't get me wrong. It looks like a good game. It just looks like such a blatant ripoff that I'm kind of like, do I really like when the remake is right around the corner too? Do I really want to play this?
Yeah, and I was listening to Sacred Symbols the other day. You know, Colin Moriarty's podcast.
Yeah,
And he was mentioning how they have to get it out before Dead Space remake because
I
if
was
they
gonna say
don't,
they have to.
if they
have
don't,
to.
that game is gonna be dead on arrival. Like no one's gonna want to play
it. Will
it.
be,
Yeah.
for sure. I think
So-
even at this point it might still be because so many of us
Yeah,
who like that stuff, like are gonna go play the remake.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm
Man,
pretty
I
excited
think they'll
for it.
both be all right. I think they'll both do good
Yeah.
just because we've been deprived of games like that for so long.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
That they'll just be like, "Fuck, at least we got something to play."
You know what? That's a good point. And there's no
'Cause
reason
then
you can't
it's-
play both. I guess.
Exactly.
We've been deprived.
Dude, since fucking
I mean-
February, we haven't had anything.
I mean, the last game like that, I would say, was that last Resident Evil. In like a horror.
3?
8
That 8.
Oh,
What
8.
was it called?
Oh,
Village.
8.
Village,
8 was-
Village, yeah.
Yeah,
Village.
Village. Yeah, that was really good.
That was a fantastic game.
Yeah, that was
Fantastic,
really
and they're adding a third-person mode, which is gonna be fucking fun.
good. Yeah, and the Rose
Man,
DLC.
whatever.
and
Just make
everything.
Yeah.
just make another game. I don't even.
Yeah.
I hate when they do that re-release shit and they try to just.
They are, bro.
add
Resident Evil
something.
4.
That's different. That's a
Yeah, that's a
classic
whole-
with new graphics.
That's a bottom
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I don't know if I'm gonna play the third-person mode because if I want to replay that game, I want to play it in VR, and it's already confirmed to come to VR. I believe PSVR
Village?
2. Yeah,
Oh,
Village. So I'm definitely gonna wait for VR
Oh,
because I
they're
played
putting
Resident
Village
Evil
in
4
VR?
VR.
Bro, those
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Vikings scared the shit out of me, man.
Resident Evil 4 VR
Yeah,
was
man.
fantastic.
Yeah, the 4 VR. I've seen my buddy play it. It looks fun.
For like the last 3 months, I've just been obsessed with Mercenaries and just getting a high score on that in
Mercenaries,
VR.
dude.
Yeah,
Mercenaries was the best, man.
yeah. Mercenaries in
Especially
VR
on
is
4, but-
insane.
Yeah.
You gotta try it
I
out.
didn't really like.
Well,
the vibes.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
Is it what I'm thinking of? Like the old school Mercenaries?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, for real?
yeah.
I
It's
didn't even know
it's
they
the
brought
Resident
that
Evil
back.
arcade game.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not thinking of the same thing then.
Oh,
I'm
wait, what were you
there's
thinking
this
of?
old Xbox game called Mercenaries.
Oh no. I'm talking about Resident Evil 4
You
Mercenaries.
could be a black dude, a white dude, and then like an Asian chick.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking
Does
about.
nobody know what I'm talking about?
No, no.
That game was so fucking cool. Well, you know what? If anybody watches this, Mercenaries are badass. What? Play that.
What was on the original Xbox?
It was like on Xbox back in the day. I fucking loved the fuck out of that
Let's
game.
see. Oh yeah. I've seen this game.
That
I used to have it
game
on
was
PS2.
bomb, dude. That game was so
Oh,
fun.
was
this
alright.
game. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
dude. That
Oh,
game's
yeah. Oh, yeah.
amazing. I thought you
Yeah,
were talking
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
I'm like, if they brought that back in VR, I'm like, how would that even work?
They actually, there might be a market for that. I mean, I don't know.
They should bring that game back in general. That game's amazing.
Yeah.
Whether you could throw the fucking grenades, and you got every car in the game. It's kind of like Just Cause now that I think about it, but without
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say,
grappling
yeah,
hook.
just like Just Cause, yeah. Just
But-
Cause is, it's another good series, actually.
I'm fucking over Just Cause. It's like I feel like they've done too much at this point.
Yeah.
Every game is the same.
Kind of like Saints Row, too. I mean, it's
Man,
the same, like,
yeah.
overly done too
I
much.
agree.
Dude, fuck that Saints Row game. That new one.
That new one,
Saints Woke?
Saints
Yeah, the
trash.
reboot.
That
Fuck
Saints
that game.
trash.
Dude, I don't know what these game companies are thinking, man.
Don't me either, man. Me either.
They're out of their
All I can say is at least Tekken looks good, and at least Street Fighter
Tekken 8,
looks
yeah.
good.
Tekken 8 looks really good. Yeah.
Street Fighter, you can make your own character.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's got a hub. Like y'all ever play Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse?
Yeah, Xenoverse. Yeah.
It's got like the hub area like Xenoverse had, but it's like you can literally walk up to anybody and be like, "Hey, let's fight," and you can fight right there, and everybody can just like crowd around and watch and shit. Looks fucking awesome.
That's pretty dope because there comes a point, I think, especially with these fighting games where it's like, how much more can we advance the story? At least with Dragon Ball Z, the story ended 20 years ago, right? So they had to get original fast.
Yeah,
they had to just give you excuses to fight fast.
It's got to be either the gameplay or it's got to be like some type of gameplay gimmick or some type of story angle with Dragon Ball Z at this point.
Right. And I think Street Fighter's coming to that too. Tekken's coming to that too because the Tekken story.
Mortal Kombat's got to step their fucking game up if they're gonna try to compete with the way that these new games are looking.
Yeah, I'd love another Injustice game, but
me too. I think Mortal Kombat's next though. They did just drop that 30-year anniversary trailer.
Injustice 2 is free on PS Plus right now.
It's really cool. You should check it out.
Oh, Injustice 2? Oh, nice.
That game's dope. They don't really support it anymore. If you go on there, it's like impossible to get mother boxes now.
Yeah, it's a I don't want to say a dead franchise, but I mean, there's just all the games that other people would play is just like they'd rather play Tekken, Street Fighter.
Yeah. I mean, just Mortal Kombat. I mean, if you think about it, Mortal Kombat 11 and Injustice are old at this point.
Yeah, which is crazy. I remember watching the trailer for X and being like, "Holy fuck!"
Me fucking too. I still feel like X had the best guest characters.
Yeah, definitely. Because that was when was that? When Predator was introduced.
Predator. You got Jason. You got Leatherface.
Yeah, you got Jason. Yeah.
You got
Freddy
Alien. Freddy was in Mortal Kombat 9.
11. Or 9. Oh, 9. Freddy was in 9.
That's right. Freddy was in 9. It was a big deal when they put him in there, but it was remake Freddy. Yeah. It wasn't OG Freddy.
Yeah.
OG Freddy. Speaking of OG Freddy, let's get right into it. So this isn't a video game podcast. Surprisingly, this is a horror podcast. So yeah, for the first episode, I figured we'd just break the ice, do our top 5 horror movies. I got 5 horror movies and 5 honorable mentions. We're gonna do just round robin style. I do one, someone else does one. We'll talk about it, whatever. If any of y'all want to go first, or I go first, whatever, it's up to you.
Well, shit, I'll go first.
Sure, go ahead.
My number 5, I got Insidious, and I got some points to make with this.
Okay, yeah.
When Insidious came out, it changed the way ghost movies were at that time. Like, we got Conjuring after that, we got Annabelle after that. I feel like Insidious kind of started that new wave of ghost movies that we got now that are kind of overdone at this point, but it started that wave.
Yeah, the James Wan classic.
I just Googled it. It came out 2010. I didn't even realize it was that long, though. You're so right.
Yes, I'm telling you, bro. It started that wave.
Thought it was, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely
And they
right.
had those 2 movies. It had 3 movies. The second one and the third one wasn't as good as the first one or the second one. Yeah. But the first one, man, that first one was good. But the biggest scare in that movie was when the title popped up, because I was watching it in surround sound at the house, and the title popped up and scared the fuck out of me.
I saw the second one in theaters, and the second one had the same fucking intro, and that scared the fuck out of me.
It's like,
dude, in the theater they turned the audio levels up like all the way to max.
Yeah. It's like
they were just like, here, let's just ear rape you real quick.
Yeah, for real.
But actually James Wan, he went to direct the Conjuring series too, right? Or at least the first one.
He did. Yeah.
He did. So, he went on to do Conjuring after that.
Yeah, that's why they feel so similar.
Good series.
Exactly. I know, and that's why they use the same actor. The Warren dude is in that movie. The dude who plays Ed Warren. He's the main dude.
Patrick something. What's his name?
Oh man, I don't remember. His name is escaping me, dog. He's more of a. I feel he's more new, like, to me.
Yeah.
In terms of how long I've been seeing him in movies.
I've been seeing him since. I mean, the first big thing I saw him in was Watchmen.
Yeah.
I forgot he was one Watchmen.
Yeah,
Night Owl. Right.
Night Owl.
He was an Aquaman too.
Yeah. But that like
Yeah.
Watchmen's like 2008, so that's like 15,
Yeah, that's
15
like
years ago.
that's probably the first time I did see him too.
Yeah,
without
that's the first
realizing
thing
it.
I remember him from. So I was
Yeah.
associating him with that. So when I saw him in horror movies, I was like, huh? But really good movies.
Yeah.
Man,
no,
and I
Insidious
feel like
is a really good pick.
Insidious had like good like cinematography, like the environments in that movie, like when you got into the demon world and they really showed the demon for real. And I feel like a lot of ghost movies don't do that. They really showed this dude sitting there sharpening his nails, and he had that crazy fucking Oliver Twist ass song in the background and shit.
Yeah. That scene, it was so campy. Like it reminded me almost like of a Sam Raimi scene, and just how goofy and campy it was. Yeah, but it worked so well. They nailed it.
It worked so
and
well.
it's even
so
more terrifying.
Full.
Well, it's because they gave you like shots of him early. Like they gave you like little flashes. Like, I remember when he's sitting there talking, I guess to like his mother-in-law or whatever at the table, and then the thing just pops up right behind her. You know what I mean? Like the face just pops up real quick. That scared the shit.
Looking like Darth Maul and shit.
Yeah, it looked like Darth Maul. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Freddy Krueger, Darth Maul.
I would go on record and say that's one of the scariest scenes of all time.
I agree.
He's behind him.
That
was fucking terrifying.
That shit was crazy. But you know, it can be subtle at times too. Do y'all remember that scene when she's moving through the house and she sees the little boy, but we see her, but she doesn't see it? And she goes back and it ain't there, and then you just hear the kid kind of running through the house. Like I like how it did shit like that. Like it wouldn't always beat you over the head.
Other movies tried to
with
copy
everything.
that too.
Yeah,
like you said, like
terribly.
All those. Yeah, terribly. Yeah. Like what was that movie? The Babadook or something like that. I think.
Oh man, that movie got on my nerves, dude. That movie, that little kid in that movie got on my nerves.
Yeah.
That was my mom. She watched a movie. And back in the day, I was too fucking scared to watch it, so I never did. Well, even though when I did watch it, I was like, this shit sucks.
Yeah,
this movie sucks.
That movie's hot cheeks, bro.
Yeah, that movie sucked ass.
But yeah, no, good pick, Jalen. Good pick. I like that pick.
Thank you, I'm gonna go next.
Have anything? Okay.
Oh, but yeah, my bad.
Oh, I was gonna ask Jalen if you had anything else to say about it.
Shit, no. I just feel like that movie kind of changed everything. I feel like it needs to be mentioned just off that basis alone. If it not even just it being a solid movie.
That and one last thing I'll say about it is that and Paranormal Activity definitely changed the landscape of ghost movies.
Yes, it did 100%. For the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, they came around. They came out around the same time, didn't they?
Yes, because I remember.
Yes, they did.
I remember going to the theaters to watch basically the first 3 Paranormal Activity movies, and I was in high school for all 3.
Yeah, 2007. So. Yeah, and that was back when they did the commercials of like people in the theater getting scared.
And that's the first time they ever did that, though. The commercials of the people in the theater all scared and shit. They never did that to market a horror movie before that.
Yeah,
that did sell that shit.
Marketing.
You know, I didn't like that fucking movie. I to this day. I didn't watch it in the theater, but I think that movie is just a series of loud noises in other rooms until the last 20 minutes.
Dude, I agree.
It's a show not tell movie. It's your imagination that scares you.
Yep. The second one's scarier though. I'll agree that the second one was a lot better.
They have one with witches or some shit like that. I can't.
Yeah, man, it gets way out of fucking hand, bro.
Yeah, they take it to Mexico. It gets bad.
It gets bad. Once the movie goes to Mexico, it's gotten out of hand.
It's awful.
That's when ghost movies go to space. Bad ghost movies go to Mexico.
But Ken, you want to give us your top number 5 pick?
Yeah, number 5 for me is Cabin in the Woods.
Nice.
Yeah, and that movie for me was definitely. People talk about subverting expectations, and I think for me that movie was the ultimate subverter of expectations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I agree.
2011. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even. It's funny because again, I was in high school when that came out, so like I didn't really appreciate it. I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, but I didn't really appreciate it till I got a little older, and I had watched more tropey movies, more more classic movies, and I was like, damn, this movie is really. I think it really stands above because like there's no. For one, there's a definitive end, right? It's like the world ends at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen
a movie
that movie
from 2011, bro.
Like,
I always thought about because like that ending for me was kind of just like holy shit. Like this was like even though it had all the monsters and everything, and it had like all the sort of like IPs together, and it was like, for me, it was like the way it ended. I was like, wait a minute, there's not going to be another one, because you're expecting it's such a good movie. You're expecting there to be like some kind of like sequel to it.
Yeah.
And the movie just says no.
Fuck you. Movie ends.
And something I'd say about that movie, I think it's a perfect like parody of horror movies.
Yes.
It's the perfect horror parody where it does like where it's not too goofy. It does everything justice.
Yep.
It's like a really good movie.
And like it's a meta horror movie basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say in it being so meta, the stakes are real still. Like these are still real people dying, so to speak.
Yeah.
But like they don't know, like they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't know how real this shit is.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone else is in on how fucking real it is, and then it gets real for everyone.
Man, the best kill in that movie was the unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn.
Stabbing that dude in the chest, bro.
Well, I thought the mermaid one was fucking.
Oh, the mermaid.
The mermaid
on the ground.
Yeah.
Interestingly, is written by Joss Whedon.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that.
Really, I did not know that. That's actually super interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's probably why Chris Hemsworth is in it.
Yeah, that's
you know
what? Yeah, the timing.
Chris Hemsworth is in that.
Yeah, Thor just came out at that point.
Thor just came out.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
2010, actually, I think, right?
And Thor sucks.
Do you think if it came out like 2 or 3 years later, Chris Hemsworth would even be in it?
I want to say yeah, just because Chris Hemsworth was like, I feel like they had a relationship.
Well, I mean, he did the first 2 Avenger movies, so
yeah, because this movie was right before Avengers, so I mean,
2012 and 2015.
At this point, the MCU wasn't crazy yet, so I feel like if they would have did Avengers and then this movie came out, he would have said like, no, I'm so on top of the world right now, I don't even need this.
Maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but Chris Hemsworth does shitty movies, bro. Chris Hemsworth is a goofy ass actor, bro.
Netflix, awful.
Man, would you see that shitty Ghostbusters shit he was in, bro?
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Yeah.
You mean Men in Black? Or?
He did the Red Dawn remake too.
They did the Ghostbusters they did with the females.
Yeah,
he was in that too. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth was like the guy who answered the phones or whatever.
Oh,
he was so insufferably stupid in that movie.
Bad.
That movie was fucking bad too.
Yeah, Men in Black 4, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
That movie was terrible.
Shit.
Anything else you have to say about Cabin in the Woods?
No, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, good pick. I like that. So I was torn between my 5 pick. I didn't know what to pick because both these movies I really love, but I ended up going with They Live, the 1988 John Carpenter movie.
Man, I was wondering if you were gonna put
Roddy
shit
Piper.
On this list.
I fucking love this movie, man.
List, bro.
You want to guess what it was tied with?
What?
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
I'm surprised I didn't make the list, Dylan. I'm surprised I didn't make the list.
I love House of a Thousand Corpses, but
you love that movie, bro.
I feel like if you ask me next week, I'd probably put House of a Thousand Corpses. Like those movies they're tied because I love them so much. But I went ahead and went with They Live, just because I don't know, something about that. Just the feel of that movie is so it's so fun, but it's so not fun at the same time. You know.
I had no idea this was a John Carpenter movie.
Really?
Until just now. I had absolutely no clue. Wow.
Yeah. It was John Carpenter coming right off of what's it called, The Thing. So he's
right.
Yeah, he's on.
Was 82, and then this is 88.
Yeah,
right?
so he's on top of the world right now.
Yeah.
This movie's actually pretty panned when it first came out. People didn't like it that much.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah, it's so heavy-handed in its social commentary.
I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, go figure, right?
Yeah, and
that movie's amazing, fool.
It's commentary on Reaganomics and American classism and whatnot. With him being out of
your
work.
Your favorite scene is still that scene where they're trying to put the dude glasses on that dude.
Yeah. Put on the glasses. Yeah. I fucking love that fight scene, man. And the quotes in the movie are so good. Roddy Piper
kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of
bubblegum. Man, I wish Roddy Piper would have did some more movies. He was really good in this movie. Fucking, I'm giving you a choice. Sonny. Either put on the glasses or start eating that trash can. But I don't know. I feel like it's the way it's able to convey its political thoughts without it's overt, but it's still enjoyable enough as a film,
Yeah.
And those fucking aliens are still creepy. You can
Yeah,
tell
they
they're fake.
are.
They look pretty fake now, but they're still pretty creepy.
No, I mean, but it's still
Nah, it
people
still looks
still.
good,
I mean, the
bro.
themes are still. I mean, it's a critique of capitalism. But
I almost
Yeah,
feel like it's
exactly.
more relevant today than it was then.
yeah,
It
I was
is.
gonna say,
It is.
It's probably more relevant now.
Especially the subliminal messages of consume, reproduce.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, oh
it's
yeah,
crazy.
bro.
I,
It's crazy
ironically,
as
I mean
hell.
that transcends sort of like, in my opinion at least, transcends sort of political lines. I mean, because in the '80s it's Reagan, but even now it's like it looks totally different now.
Yeah, it does.
Like it's still the hyper
It was-
hyper consumption, but like the different people are in charge, and it's
Yeah.
even worse now.
Great art has it can transcend time and take on different meanings. Like I mean,
Yeah.
the movie was originally just about commercialization in the '80s, and the rich getting tax cuts and shit, and John Carpenter was like, okay, well fuck that then, I'll say fuck you to Ronald Reagan, and then
Right.
now in 2022 it's about, like you said, hyper consumption, and it's just people just
Yeah.
eating all this microwave content shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's even
crazy.
worse now.
Yeah, it's even worse. Yeah.
the same thing to that. I feel like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is another movie that, like, as time went on, the what they're trying to tell you in that movie kind of changes with time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like with all the meat stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, with all the
Meat-packing
meat
stuff.
and all that, like meat packing stuff, like the
Yeah.
narrative on that, like watching that today. If you watch
Yeah.
that, like if that movie was made today, what people would say about it wouldn't be what they said back then.
Not
It'd
at
be
all.
a totally different vibe.
Back in the day, we used to hit them with hammers. The best guys only had to do one time.
Yeah, and everybody knows that Granddad's the best at killing.
But yeah, They Live, 1988. That's all I got to say about that. Jalen, you want to go on to number 4?
My number 4 is mine is going to be surprising. Mine is Creep Show.
Creep
Ooh.
show. Okay.
Creep Show.
Okay.
And my argument
Yeah.
for Creep Show is Creep Show's the
Yeah.
best horror anthology of all time. In my eyes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And I feel like it's got varying tones, got Stephen King wilding out in that movie. Stephen King is wilding out in that movie. You got him turning
Is that
into
like-
a fucking monster and shit.
Is that one of his only acting roles, or has he done more?
No, he does cameos in a lot of his old school movies. He does like
Really?
random cameos in a lot. He was in what the hell was that movie with the cars that kill people? The fuck is that movie called?
I have no idea.
Like the it's like the semi truck with the goblin face on it, and it just like they run people over, and they all get stranded inside that gas station. Fuck, this is gonna bother the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I'm lost.
It's a Stephen King movie.
It's a Stephen King movie. It's based on a Stephen King book. It's about it's about cars that come to life and kill people. They even had to censor the movie because there's a part of the movie when they run over a fucking little kid on a steamroller runs over a little kid, and it was like super
Damn.
bloody, but at the time they had to censor the shit.
Is it perhaps called L.O. Governor?
No, it's similar to that, I guess.
the regular show classic.
But my favorite story in Creep Show is the one with the monkey inside of the box. That one to this day I think is it's still
Is that the
very
crate?
scary. The crate, yes, the crate.
Yeah.
That like the evil like it's like a baboon looking demon inside that
Yeah.
box, and it fucking like that. I saw that for the first time as a little kid, and I just remember that movie sticking out of my brain for so many years, and I like finally watched it as an adult. And that movie holds up, and I'm a sucker for practical effects, and that movie had
Yeah, I was gonna
amazing
say,
practical effects.
were- yeah.
Practical
Shit, I
effects
was
hold up
watching-
forever.
I never watched it.
The monkey crate story is actually adopted from a Stephen King short story. I didn't know that.
Seriously, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that for all we know, all those could have been Stephen King short stories. Because
Yeah,
Stephen
'cause
King
it
was
says,
in that.
Screenplay, so he wrote
Yeah.
the screenplay for it. So.
Adapted
Yeah.
from The Crate and Weeds, which Weeds is a
Yeah,
Netflix
Weeds.
movie.
Weeds is the one where he turns into a weed in that.
Yeah,
Stephen King's like a farmer,
Yeah, I
and he
remember that
turns
one.
into a weed. This shit's so crazy.
This movie's got a pretty star-studded cast. Stephen King,
Yeah.
of course, Tom Savini, Leslie Nielsen,
Yeah, it does, bro.
Naked Gun Star, funniest movie series ever.
This movie walks so VHS could live.
I was gonna say anthologies or
Anthologies, bro. They make them in all genres.
Yeah.
And this
real.
one is the best in horror for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
That'd be hard to argue. George A. Romero classic. Let me see. What year did it come out? 1982?
82, yeah.
82. Don't even look like it, bro. You watch it, even the acting holds up, except for Stephen King being goofy. That shit don't hold up. That shit goofy as fuck.
Well, I mean, Ed Harris is in it. I mean, that guy is fucking. I love that dude.
Oh, yeah, Ed Harris, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, number 4?
For me, number 4's gotta be Jeepers Creepers. Yeah. I mean, despite the director being a less than savory character,
Yeah, to say the least.
it's yet again another horror movie for me that doesn't have a happy ending, and I enjoy them a lot more when it's like that, because, you know, it's like one of those things where the payoff in the movie is kind of just like there is no payoff. It's like
Yeah, the payoff is gore.
Like, it's like you guys went through all this stuff and you're still gonna lose. Sorry,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the creeper's still gonna win. And
I love movies like that that just end on such a bad
Me
note.
too.
Yeah,
I love it when the
And
bad
I'm
guys win.
Man, and just the creeper is just such an interesting
I was gonna say,
monster.
the
Fool.
Creeper,
He's
yeah,
just
I mean,
so
he's-
interesting.
I don't know how he hasn't ended up in a Mortal Kombat game yet, but
Man,
he
he is overdue. You know,
yeah,
probably because
yeah.
of that director being a pedophile, bro.
Yeah, honestly, it
Might
kind
have
of killed the
something to do with
franchise.
that. Trying to kill
Yeah.
the franchise.
I
They're
hate-
making a new one.
I hate
though.
that I love the movie so much because of that. Cause
You know,
it's
there's a new one in development right now.
yeah, but that's been in development like forever.
No, like I thought I saw a trailer for it, but I
Oh,
don't fucking
well,
know.
maybe.
I'd have to look.
Because
I
the
don't-
third one,
I
it's
wanna
funny
say
because the
that,
third
but I
one was
don't
on
know.
TV the other day, and it was just
It's
a
kinda
colossal
bad.
piece of shit.
It's a
Oh, bro, it was
colossal
it's
piece.
already out.
It's
the
out?
Jeepers
They're
remake.
playing it on TV. Yeah, it's on TV now. Like
Yeah, and
aside
it has 2.5 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
Oh wow, so it's
from- it's a
great.
colossal waste.
So it's fantastic.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
It's bad.
No, I used to get so scared of Jeepers Creepers. I actually
Dude.
like when I was a
Yeah.
kid, my friend would tell me about it and be like, "Dude, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen, bro. You gotta watch it with me." And we'd like talk on the phone while we were watching it and be like, "Bro,
Yeah.
don't hang up. I'm too scared for you to hang up, man." And then like and we were watching it, and then like his fucking phone died, and I was like, "Oh shit, no! Oh god!"
Creeper, fuck! It's gonna eat my eyes.
But yeah, no, I love the ending of that movie when his
Yeah.
eyes are just like all out and shit.
Yeah,
He's
and
taking
it's
his
just like,
eyes.
the creeper's like, got him. Damn.
No, isn't that the guy from Scrubs? guys in this
No,
movie?
it's Justin Long. So
It's
he's
Justin
from,
Long.
No, he was in Dodgeball. What the fuck am I thinking of?
Yeah, Dodgeball. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, he's in a
They're
lot
all-
of really like comedies.
He's
Yeah.
in that new Barbarian flick, actually, isn't he?
What?
All those white guys look the same.
Well, he's funny enough. He's half Asian too. So
Yeah, him and that kid
Yeah,
who played
long
Percy
distance,
Jackson. They all look the same.
Logan, name Logan something or something. He was in
Logan
that
Paul.
movie Bullet Train recently. That movie was good. Yeah, that's all I got for that though.
Nice. All right, so for my number 4, I have Eraserhead.
Eraserhead. Okay.
Have you seen that movie, Jalen?
I have not actually seen that one. That's one I'm gonna have to check out.
Really?
I've seen that a long time ago. I haven't seen that
Yeah, David
in a
Lynch.
very long time.
1977, I believe.
Yeah.
That movie, it's weird, you know. Like I love it because it's so weird. Like it's mostly told only through visuals. Like I don't even think there's like a page of dialogue in it.
Right.
The sound design is great, of course, because you know it's David Lynch. Damn, you don't have anything else to say about this movie?
I mean, I haven't seen it in a very long time. I mean, the only David Lynch thing I've seen recently is like Twin Peaks, and even that I have to rewatch that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
in a long
it's
time.
weird. I'll watch a David Lynch movie and I'll really like it, but I'll just brain dump it when I'm done. I don't know why. It's like
'cause
his
their movie,
he
he
shows
packs it tight.
Yeah, like they aren't forgettable, but at the same time, like they're just such a blank spot.
Yeah, they're just yeah.
But, I mean, I love it. I mean, it makes no fucking sense. You know, you have to rack your brain like 5 or 6 times just to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a great movie. It's just eerie enough and just creepy enough to be
Yeah.
horror, but not in your face enough to scare you. You know.
You're right. I got you. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that
yeah.
one.
It's pretty good. It's on HBO Max.
Is it on
I-
HBO Max?
Oh, hell yeah.
I do think it's a little bit long. If they cut out maybe 15, 20 minutes from it, made it a $1.10, $1.15, I think it'd be a lot better. There's some
Yeah.
shit that drags on in that movie for a long time. Like
a movie with no dialogue, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, then again, it is like a student film, so what are you gonna do? But
True.
I mean, for a student film, it's a pretty good movie.
No, that's
Like I think about that scene in particular where it's that lady on stage singing, or whatever, and it goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm like,
he
Jesus
loves
Christ.
having ladies sing on stage. He did that at Twin Peaks, and then again in Twin Peaks season 3. Like he did it season 2 and 3.
Yeah, I need to watch Twin Peaks. Everything,
Yeah, that shit's-
everything paranormal I love is in Twin Peaks. So I don't know why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, no.
That's
You know what
gonna
it is?
be me
It's
too
another
on
one of
that.
those. It's very like you just gotta watch it. Like it's very it's
definitely
minimal dialogue as well. You know, it's very like various. You get really used to being like you feel like you're a part of the small town, and I think it's like what is it like Twin Peaks? What is it? Like Indiana or something? Whatever it is, wherever the small town is. Yeah,
I heard
you
there's
feel like
like
you're a part of the town by the time you're finished with the season.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great world building. Yeah, that's what I always hear.
Yeah.
And then there's a movie
That's
in
all
there
it
too,
is.
right?
Literally, I'll say again.
There's a movie too, right? That they made.
Yes, there's a movie that they made because they needed to explain even more, and now there's a season 3 on like Stars or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like
that
a
came out
reboot
recently.
series or like just picked
yeah,
off,
but it
picked up.
continues. It's a continuation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have to definitely watch it at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eraserhead, that's mine. Jalen, want to go ahead?
My number 3 is going to be The Thing.
Ah, nice.
Oh yes, of course.
And I've got a lot of reasons
Classic.
why The Thing is here without it being a classic. The movie is extremely hard to read. You don't know exactly who is the monster. You don't know exactly what's going on during this movie. And even by the end, I feel like it leaves it so open-ended. You can make an argument for how that movie can be interpreted overall.
Yep.
Like I feel people still argue about this movie to this day about how the ending could be interpreted. Like they even make comics about it. Like it's this shit's like the crazy the way they leave that movie so open ended like that. The fucking
that makes me want to ask.
Effects.
Hey Jalen,
Man.
that makes me want to ask. Who do you think the thing is at the end?
Who do I think I think the Thing is the black dude. I don't remember what his name was. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
But
Childs. Yes, I think it's Childs, and I think I'm like almost 100% sure it's Childs. But everybody's got their own opinion on that one.
Isn't it because like the thing doesn't have breath, so you don't see his breath?
Yes, and that's exactly that's what was. And it's also the way they end it. He just seemed the most suspect at the end of that movie to me. Like out of all of them, if you like break it down, who do you like that dude was clearly the most suspect out of that group.
Yeah.
By the end of that movie,
it was like it couldn't be Childs or some shit because of like he got offered alcohol at the end or something like that.
See, like there's always an angle. See, that's what I like about that movie. It's decided. There's always an angle. They do edit. They did that movie like that on purpose.
And there's a ton of subtlety to it. Like when you go back and watch it, like like certain characters, they don't have it based on like the the certain ticks that they have, the certain things that they do. It's like like someone's jacket or something like that, or the way that they smoke a cigarette, like shit like that. It's like like all this little subtlety. It's like some of it is on just like sometimes it's like the crew just forgot to put something in, but people are so detail oriented, like they kind of overanalyze.
And I feel like that any movie that needs to be watched multiple times to be fully understood or like to fully grasp everything, and you see new shit. Even to this day, when I watch this movie, I see new shit. Like this movie's like if you keep knowing everything that you know when you go back and watch that movie, it's a whole different experience. Like that movie needs to be watched more than once, for you to get the full experience of that movie.
And it's just enjoyable to watch. Like you were saying, the practical effects are insane. It's so
insane,
gory and great. I'm looking here. One thing I noticed about John Carpenter is a lot of his movies that were, end up being cult films are commercial failures.
Yeah.
Really?
This movie had a budget of $15 million and it made $19.6 million.
Wow.
The Thing?
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's honestly insane. How'd the remake do, if you don't mind me asking? Because I thought the remake was pretty solid as well.
Shit. I haven't seen the remake.
Really, it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
So the remake
it is actually all right.
The remake actually lost money. $38 million budget, $31 million box office.
Shit.
That's pretty
You know what it is?
surprising.
I think it's because again, it's the cult classic status. So
Yeah, exactly.
Only nerds like us, actually give a shit about the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like Blade Runner 2049 in that way. And I know that's kind of a weird example, but it's like
no. I think that's a great example
because that movie was kind of a failure too when it first came out.
Yeah.
But it's people that like Blade Runner really love that movie.
Yeah. No, it's a fucking fantastic movie. Wrote so
But
many college essays on that movie.
It would be so amazing.
That's a great pick. I'd argue The Thing is one of the greatest horror movies ever. Like just
I
bar
agree.
none.
For sure.
Bar none. It's some of the best practical effects of all time. That's for sure.
Definitely. Do you know who the practical effect guy was on that?
I think it was the same guy who did the practical effects on Hellraiser, but you'll have to look into that for me.
Rob Bottin. American prosthetic makeup artist. Yeah. That's another movie I was saying earlier that just feeds into your imagination of like, oh, what can it actually look like? Yeah.
What can it look like? And that part when it's all fucking its head's out and it's got fucking the spikes coming out the side. It looks almost like a spider. Like that thing is just, it's insane. That movie's just insane.
Yeah, honestly. And great cover too.
Great cover. Timeless cover.
I think the guy that did that cover did the Star Wars covers too. Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Go figure.
I have no idea, but that I wouldn't be surprised.
Or at the very least, the Indiana Jones cover. But anyway, Ken, your number 3?
Yes, sir. My number 3. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of this film. It's called Shudder. Shutter.
Shudder.
Yeah, it's a Korean horror.
2008.
2004, not 2008.
Oh, 2004.
Yeah. Because 2008's the American one. That's why.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think I've
seen that one either.
Yeah, so that movie is like the reason why I watched that. I mean, I put that on my list is because I remember when I watched back when Netflix was like in its very, very early stages. They had a lot of like gems, like a lot of like Korean, foreign movie gems, and so one of them was Shudder. So I was like, all right, like I figured I had heard of the remake first. And I was like, all right, well, let me just watch this one. Because I'd never seen the remake. The remake, I don't know, it looked like shit to me. But I was like, this one looked more interesting. And then I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is... No wonder they remade it. It's how do I explain it? It's like a psychological horror film. But, like, it's mixed in with supernatural elements, too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Everything and,
yeah. No, that ghost bitch is terrifying. Yeah, definitely.
That shit... I remember the night I saw that movie, I was at my friend's house, and I had to drive home shook. Like, I was scared as fuck driving home watching that shit.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. It kind of gives me, what's it called? Oh, what's that movie with, what the fuck am I thinking of?
The Ring?
No, not The Ring. I'm going to go insane thinking of this. It's a movie with the dude finds a whole bunch of films in his attic, starts watching them, and it's all, what's it called?
Oh, you're talking about Sinister.
Yeah. It gives me a lot of Sinister vibes with like the camera.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah. It actually is a lot like that.
Yeah, I love Sinister.
The first Sinister. The second one was terrible.
Yeah, the second one was
terrible.
One
sucked.
But it's a lot like that, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's giving me a lot of Sinister vibes, and then even like the girl kind of has the same design, kind of.
Yeah.
Of the dude.
Yeah.
But no,
that movie. You guys got to watch that. That's a really great movie. I'm not sure if it's on Shudder or whatever, but is it what? Say again.
Is there like a lot of jump scares or gore? Or is it more just like a slow burn type film?
It's a bit of the movie's a bit of a slow burn. I mean, it's like more psychological too. Because the main character, like the people who are affected by it, like they seem like crazy people because of what's happening to them. So there are some jump scares, the usual, the normal jump scares, but it's very, I don't know, I think it's very well done.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely need to get this a watch. I'm
gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's free on Vudu if anyone has a Vudu.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, it's free to make an account, so
I was about to say steal
no
an account.
excuse. But yeah, I'll definitely add that one to my list. Wait, whose turn is it? Is it my turn?
Yup.
Okay. So my number 3, I put 28 Days Later from 2002.
28 days later. Interesting.
Yeah. This movie freaked the fuck out of me when I first saw it. because I've always been terrified of zombies. Like one of my first horror movie memories was watching Dawn of the Dead 2004, and so ever since then I've just been plagued with zombie nightmares like once a week and just getting scared of zombies. So when I saw zombies that were this powerful and this fast and they can infect you this easily in this movie,
the first time they could run in that movie was crazy.
It was fucking terrifying.
Because before that, zombies were slow walking, fucking.
Yeah,
they weren't doing that. They weren't running before that movie.
Yeah, and
the movie changed a lot.
Directed by Danny Boyle. He actually said the movie, he doesn't consider it a zombie movie because I mean they never explicitly say zombies.
Kinda not though. They don't say they're zombies.
Yeah.
They're just infected. It's kind of similar to like that line that fucking I Am Legend totes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, eventually zombies did become just quote unquote infected. You know, same shit.
Yeah.
But funny thing I saw about this movie is written by Alex Garland, which who went on to direct Ex Machina. Yeah,
he did write Ex Machina.
That movie's amazing.
Fantastic movie.
He wrote something else I just watched too. Oh, he wrote Devs. That show Devs.
Yeah. That show's pretty good.
Yeah, that show. Yeah, I just.
But no,
that recently.
This is the first movie where I was actually like pretty scared of zombies, like because and they made it realistic in how a zombie apocalypse could happen. Like, oh shit, these rabid monkeys, just unleashed an entire world.
Rabies.
Yeah, it's fucking so scary.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this movie was shot with the Canon XL1. Do you guys know what that is?
Really?
No, I do not.
It's like it's all it is a handheld digital camera. So like all they did was put some film grain on a digital camera like that they can hold and just shot the whole movie like that. And I think it adds to like its grittiness because it almost looks like a found footage film. Like if you watch it and like
the way his teal. The way his teal hospital outfit fit, the way it stood out in the city as he walked through it.
Yeah, in the city just looked like gray and red and shit. The movie is so gritty and so violent. I love it. One last thing I want to say about it is, a lot of zombie movies before then, they focus on the zombies versus the humans, right? But this movie shows a lot of, societal collapse and what happens to society if an apocalypse did happen. And I think that spurred on a lot of other zombie movies and, shit after it. Like, I think of The Last of Us as an example,
Yeah.
The Last of Us is like, Last of Us is like 25% zombies and 75% living in a zombie world, And I think this movie especially inspired stuff like that. So,
Zombieland too. Zombieland had that whole the zombies were infected. Like they did that whole. The zombies in that one were clearly it was a virus.
Yeah. Zombieland, I love Zombieland.
That's an amazing movie too.
Movie.
That's a funny
original.
I don't think I've seen the second one actually. It's called Double Tap, right?
Double Tap. I never saw it.
Yeah, and then they had a spin-off video game which is shit. So
they also made a show.
A Zombieland show?
They did it. It was terrible. What they tried to do is they tried to get all the actual characters from Zombieland, but they just got different actors to play them. Instead of just making new characters, which is a really stupid fucking idea.
Yeah, it's stupid. Kirk Ward as Tallahassee.
Exactly. Why is it not just a new character?
Who the fuck is Kirk Ward?
Who the fuck is Kurt Ward?
What TV station was it on? I'm sure it was some low budget shit.
I don't know. I'm thinking it was just on Hulu or Netflix or something. It was a streaming show. I don't think it was ever. It might have just been on Amazon Prime. It was something like that. It wasn't ever on I don't think it was ever on a channel.
Amazon. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever watch this.
I only saw one episode and I didn't even finish it. I watched 2 minutes, realized that they were what they were doing, and I was like, I'm not fucking sitting through this.
Yeah. Ken, you have anything to say about 28 Days Later?
Just that I haven't seen it in a long time. I gotta rewatch it now. That and 28 Weeks Later. You gotta watch both.
I was like, 28 Weeks Later. I don't think it's as good, but it's just as terrifying.
It's just as scary.
One last thing I actually will say about this movie is it's interesting in the time frame that it came out. So this movie was shot 4 or 5 weeks before September 11. Yeah, so
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was shot around May and June of 2001, and then of course 9/11.
Yeah.
And
Also,
I was
2002.
reading an interview earlier about how, like, they had to block off city streets like 1 hour at a time, and they blocked off the streets to Whitehall, which is like a famous church or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, like, if we had shot this movie after 2011, I don't even think we could do that. So
Right.
if this movie had been conceived maybe a year later, you probably wouldn't have even had it,
Right. Had it.
or
Wow,
even
Damn.
or had it nearly as good as it was.
That's crazy.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, so
Or it would have been
it's
like
interesting
banned.
yeah, because it's like people were so uptight about everything after 2011, or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not 2011, 9/11.
9/11. Yeah.
In 2011.
Yeah. And some indie filmmaker comes up to you and is like, "Hey, can I have this church for an hour?" You'd be like, "No, fuck off."
Right.
So yeah, it's
Like,
interesting to
what
see.
do you want to do with that?
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Yeah.
What do you,
What do you mean by that?
what do you mean?
Yeah, it's interesting how real world events line up with films and how different they could be.
Right.
Yeah. But 28 Days Later, that's all I got to say about that. 2002, favorite zombie movie. Who's next?
I've got
Jalen.
American
Jalen, number two?
Psycho.
American
Ooh. Now
American Psycho.
I'm torn between if that's a horror movie or not.
In my eyes, it is a horror movie, and I can make arguments for that. Because
think
I
it's-
feel like that movie is definitely a horror movie. It just totes the
Yeah.
line on like what type of like movie it is. It's like that's one of the reasons why I put it on the list. I
Yeah.
like movies
I mean,
that are
don't-
like decisive. Like over time, people can argue about them. Like this movie, to me, can be so argued that did he even do anything in that movie?
Right, yeah.
Except for
yeah,
just have a
that's what
manic
the end.
episode. Like that
Yeah,
movie
that's what the
is
ending implies.
basically he's just having a manic episode. Because
Yeah.
nothing that he did in that movie happened. And it even gets to a point where it's like he's running down the street shooting cars and they're blowing up. Like he's clearly
Yeah.
doing shit that doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's like to me that movie is it's the perfect serial killer movie. But it's
Yeah.
not about a serial killer doing kills. It's about a serial killer trying not to become a serial killer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that movie's really about. It's not really about him killing people. It's about him. He's trying his hardest not to become a killer. Like he was saying in the beginning of the movie, I am there, but I am not there.
Yeah. It
Like,
reminds me a
it's
lot of
like-
like actual serial killers like Dahmer in that way, where they try not
Exactly.
to, and it ends up happening. And I mean,
Like you actually see
Yeah.
the internal struggle that he has with like and like there's that one moment where he has that girl in his apartment that was his like I think it's his like front desk lady.
yeah,
His assistant. And he's like, look, like you need to leave or I'm going to kill you. I feel like then that moment was the only part in the movie when he really was about to actually kill a real person.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was, and in that entire movie, that was the only time he was actually someone actually in danger.
Do you think he ever actually killed anyone in the movie?
I don't think so. I think that he imagined everything. Because even
just-
all the shit that he did in that apartment with all those hookers, he went in that apartment and that apartment had nothing fucking in it.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck? So it's like he couldn't have done anything with those girls in that apartment if there's no bed.
yeah,
There's no furniture.
exactly. Yeah, he drops the chainsaw on that bitch.
Man, so yeah. And then like that. And that didn't even make it like, and all that shit just didn't make any
Doesn't
sense.
make
The fact
any
he's
sense.
running down the hallway with a chainsaw and nobody's coming out. Like I
Yeah.
know, like in most movies, you just kind of extend disbelief. But I feel like that movie, you're not supposed to extend disbelief. It's supposed to not make sense.
Yeah, you're
The
supposed
point
to
of it is that
disbelieve.
it doesn't. 'Cause you're supposed to be like, why the fuck would it be like this?
Yeah. No, that movie is a really good movie. It's
It
just
like forces you to look at a movie a completely different way than
Yeah.
other movies make you look at it.
I see it more of as a thriller black comedy more than a horror. I mean, of course, thriller falls into the horror category, but it's like the movie. It's so fucking hilarious. It toes the line between those two. Like when the scene where he's about to kill Paul.
He's dancing to that song before he slams that axe in the back of his fucking head.
Have you heard that new single, "Hip to Be Square"? Hey, Paul. This fucking goes crazy on
And his
him.
hair looks so crazy with the blood all over him.
What do you think about that movie, Ken?
I mean, besides all the fantastic memes that it comes from,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a classic for that reason. I mean, it's one of those. even though it's not, the memes aren't. I mean, like like the schizo, the sort of like the schizoid behavior
Yeah.
that people display online with the memes. Like,
Sigma
you're not
male.
supposed to really model yourself after that guy, but you relate to him so much anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it clearly wasn't intended. Like, there was no intention of it to be how it's used now. But
Yeah.
um, I
You
think that's what
you
makes it
hate
so
you
great.
hate that you love him.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just like like all the like all the meme, like again, like there's entire meme accounts dedicated to the movie and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
There is.
I think that
Like-
speaks
like
to the greatness of the movie.
The meme where he's walking
I
into his
like the-
office
yeah,
with his headphones.
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
My favorite part is when he's got the when he gives him that fucking that card.
Oh yeah,
He's, just-
yeah.
he's looking at it and he's like describing it and he just fucking
Yeah.
like he just melts. He fucking
Yeah,
drops
just-
it. He fucking
God.
melts.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's even got an eggshell coloring.
Yeah.
Eggshell white on black.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
See Paul Allen's card. He just and then he doesn't even say anything to anybody at the table. He just looks at it and fucking drops it.
Pretty good, Bateman, but that's nothing. Yeah, bro, that movie's great. I need to watch that again. That movie's actually pretty critically panned too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
one.
It was a massive, I would say, a massive failure initially, and then I think as the culture shifted, obviously, is like us young people, like the 20-somethings, like
We're like, hey.
I think we propelled it into
I think
popular.
Yeah.
serial killer worship is what made that movie so popular, though.
Yeah, but that's always been a
People
thing,
getting
though.
enamored.
Honestly,
Yeah, but a serial killer has to get like at that time period. People forget easy back then. They don't have internet and shit.
yeah.
So it's like the obsession. It's always there for some people, but like over a massive scale, and something
Right.
needs to happen for people to be on a massive scale about shit
Right.
back then.
Yeah,
Right.
I like the
the memes caught up. The internet kind of caught up.
Yeah, and that it always does. The internet
Yeah.
always catches up.
Yeah.
I like the
Bridges that
overt.
gap, for sure.
I like the overt like psycho references and all that with like his name being Bateman and all
Oh,
that.
right,
Yeah.
right.
His everything being overly slick and clean.
That dude
I
trying
think
to
It's based
fuck
on
him
a
in the
book. It's based
bathroom.
on a book. I think. No, it's
It is
a
based
novel,
on a
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Wait,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's based
yeah.
on a novel.
I knew. Why did I say that?
He's
I knew
like, Patrick, I knew you wanted me. I knew you wanted me all along.
that. I think a reason why it's so enamored now is just Christian Bale is just so charismatic.
Yeah.
He's so great.
He's just a
He really-
fantastic actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, He gives
In
it all, his
general.
all in every role.
he takes the
Yeah,
character
no-
from good to just amazing.
Even
you know?
if he's in Thor: God of Thunder,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blood and Thunder or whatever. I don't know.
that movie's
Yeah.
trash, dog.
Yeah.
Shit,
I didn't bother watching
Thor
it.
shit and piss 3.
Yeah. Shit.
Part
Thor
part
shit-
2, the sequel.
Thor,
Part two.
and everybody forgot about his girlfriend. Oh yeah, she exists.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's comic accurate, guy. Just like the comics, bro. Like, all right. Okay. I'm sure
right.
you've read it.
All right, who's next?
I believe I am next.
You for number
And
2, right?
So my number 2 is The Witch.
Ooh yeah.
Ooh, The Witch?
Robert Eggers.
Yeah, The Witch. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That movie sold me on him for sure.
That
Robert Eggers.
movie is subtlety to a T.
Yeah, that movie.
Yes, sir.
Like, dude, when I finished watching that shit, man, like, it was like, what was it, like 3 a.m. or some shit like that. I was like, fuck, how am I gonna get to bed now? Like, it was like, I would say like everything from because it's a true slow burn. I feel like it's like a true like the tension, everything builds, and it's like it all comes to a head at the end and everything, and it makes you feel like are these people just crazy? Like what?
Yeah,
is-
like, are
and,
they really-
and
is
it's,
this
and it's
really
not till the
happening?
very end when everything finally happens, or you're like, oh shit, those people were right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, they were correct. Like,
And then it just tells you the whole time, like, Black Charlie or whatever his name
Yeah,
is, that
Black
black
Billy.
goat.
Black
Yeah,
Billy,
Black Billy. Like, I'm trying to tell you this fucking goat is evil, and you're not listening. And then they don't listen. So it's too
gaslighting
late.
to the extreme.
Yeah, and you would think some fucking 15th century purists would be like, yeah, kill this goat immediately. Yeah, he's
Right.
definitely evil, because they'd believe some crazy shit like that,
Well, I think it's meant to show like the sort of like the sort of subtlety and nuance to these kind of situations. It's like I think, like, I mean, the goat was like valuable to him at some point. You know, it was you don't want to just kill your herd animal for no reason, and then.
But at the same time, this kid has been screaming about it for months.
Right.
Can you not say something? Yeah.
Right.
Man, and they finally made a good witch movie. Like they always make witch movies, kids movies.
Right.
All the time,
this
and like witches can be done horror wise. Like it doesn't have to always be an action movie or fucking.
Right.
It doesn't have to always be like that.
Doesn't have to be. What's that movie? Doesn't have to be Hocus Pocus or something.
You got like Hocus Pocus. You got what? Practical Magic.
Right. It doesn't have to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer or whatever.
Yeah, it fucking doesn't have to be Buffy.
Right, Buffy Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something. Like, no, this is like serious shit.
To your point about them not knowing if it's real or not, I think. So they actually, you remember at the beginning of the movie where there actually is a witch eating that baby. I think if they would have cut that scene out. Yeah, I think if they would have cut that scene out, it would have greatly helped the movie because. From that point on, it's real. So you're just like watching them go crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like if they would have cut that scene out and let us go crazy with them, it would have made the ending so much better.
Right. Kind of like. I know it's not. I know they're not like the exact same, but it's kind of like Midsommar, where like I remember being halfway through the movie. Feeling like, all right, like what's going on here? Like, is this real? Like, what's? And then the dude jumps from the ledge, and you're like, oh fuck! And I feel like that's when the movie, kind of kicks into high gear, and it's like, oh no, you're all in, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is definitely real, buddy.
Yeah, this is real.
One thing I think the movie does really good is the isolation, because I mean, dude, you're in in the middle of nowhere, and I mean,
New England.
This is still horse carriages and farming wheat and shit,
right?
And there's only like 4 or 5 characters in the whole movie. So
besides the whole convent and the beginning, or the whole I guess village or whatever they are in the beginning. That's it. Yeah, it's just the family.
So like if you something has to be said about that little girl's acting, man. She killed.
Oh yeah, she's yeah.
That movie would have been a different movie without her.
Yeah, I agree.
Like she killed that shit.
She's in the new Robert Eggers movie.
Hell yeah, they better keep.
I haven't seen that yet, but
The Northman.
Amazing.
The Northman, yeah, I heard it's fantastic.
I heard that movie was shit. My mom said it was bad, but that's my mom, so we'll see.
I was gonna say boomer opinions. Come on.
Exactly. wait till I watch it.
And then her performance, the little girls, and of course Ralph Ineson's performance as the dad.
Yeah.
Dude, that fucking his voice is insane. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think he steals the show for me personally.
Yeah.
Just with how brooding he is. And how he just doesn't believe anything until he gets fucking smacked with the goat.
Until he gets fucking smoked.
Until he gets smoked.
The devil literally takes you out. Like, smokes your kids and then takes you out. Like,
and then and it's like I was saying about the isolation. Like that shit happens. You don't have anyone to go to because you got banished in the first place.
Right. And if you guys ever been to New England, man, it's fucking cold up here.
I bet.
It's cold. It's nothing to trifle with, man.
Yeah. I know how you feel. I was born in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. So you know.
Yeah, I'd probably die if I spent a week up there. Honestly.
It's fucking.
I'm so used to just the heat, just being hot. It's still in the 80s here, bro, and it's October.
I wish, dude. I fucking wish.
Man, you go outside yesterday? Wind almost blew me over this morning.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
It blew me over this morning.
You guys got anything else? Or?
No. Jalen.
That movie's solid.
Is it me or is it
all
Jalen?
I'd have to say about that movie. You're next, dog. Why do you always think I'm
next? I lose track. What were you gonna say about it?
I think that movie. Like, I think the setting of that movie too also helps sell that movie. Like where they stick that shit in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah,
it feels like it definitely feels like a period movie done really well.
Mm-hmm. The setting, the way the camera is never it's never blurred out the background. So it always just looks so big and so open, but so isolated. And the way that the entire movie is just almost grayscale, There's nothing but just white and grays and blacks. And so it feels so hopeless the whole way through.
Right. And there's no sunshine or barely any sunshine, even during the day.
It's like dark. Like they keep that tone of just like this, this. There's something wrong with this village. You feel that shit from the beginning.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's a great pick. Yeah, I love that movie. Speaking of A24, my number 2 is Hereditary,
Nice.
which I was talking about earlier. I watched it
Dude,
last night.
I still remember the day I went to go see that shit in the fucking theater, man.
Dude, I couldn't
believe
imagine
it.
in the theater.
I was blown away. Because I heard the movie's trash, and then I went to go watch it, and I was like, were we watching the same movie? I was like, this movie was awesome. Like, what?
It's because this movie is like, okay, so we had The Conjuring, right, in like the early 2010s or whatever, and people were so used to jump scare, look, it's a fucking ghost and shit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Hereditary came out, and people were like, what is this? Because half of the movie, like for the first 45 minutes of the movie, there's not even any ghost shit
Yeah, it's
or
just
anything
world-
like that. It's just a family trauma, you know.
Yeah,
Just a lot of
yeah.
clicking. It's a lot of that girl
Yeah.
clicking.
Yeah, a lot of fucking bullshit. Yeah.
Ugh.
I would I would honestly take that out the movie if I were Ari Aster. Of course, I'm not because I couldn't make anything as good as this. But that's the one thing
Right.
I thought was corny about the movie. But other than that, like almost perfect movie all the way through.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, and I
every-
feel like the when the girl gets her head taken off in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
his reaction to that shit, like a lot of people are always like, I would never. But you don't know how shocking
Yeah.
that situation had to be.
Yeah,
He was
that's-
clearly
yeah,
in
that's
shock.
it.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I think it's almost more realistic for him to go
Yeah,
about it
I
that way
agree.
than for him to be like, oh my god, and like every
Yeah.
other movie. Like
Right.
it
Yeah,
was
honestly.
more like he was like like couldn't even believe it fucking happened.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can just
Sport-
see it on his face. Like that dude is such an amazing actor for that one
Oh,
scene.
Nat Wolff?
alone.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that
Alex
was crazy.
Wolff. Alex Wolff is one of
can-
my favorite young
Yeah.
actors. He
I was about to
killed
say,
it.
if you guys remember him from that fucking Naked Brothers band thing, I remember him from
Yeah.
that.
Was he in that?
I
I
was
do
like,
too.
I remember him. I remember seeing him
Dude,
in
he was-
Jumanji. Like right before.
oh yeah.
Like right
But
before
that's-
this movie came out, Jumanji came out.
But I'm saying like he was in like when he was a kid, like because I think me and him are like the same age. Like he was like 28 or something like that. Like when he was a kid, like he was a child actor on like Nickelodeon or some shit.
He's only 24. He's not 28.
Oh, 24. Oh, okay.
But
Oh,
to say,
wow.
I didn't,
Either way, like,
I didn't
he
think he
was-
was that old.
Yeah, but either way, he was a child actor. I remember him from being Naked Brothers band or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're
'Cause
right.
My sister was obsessed with that shit.
Oh, I didn't even know he was in this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
never watched Naked Brothers,
So I-
so I didn't know.
Yeah, so he was. I like he. Him and his other brother. I think the other one was in Death Note. So maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
It's so funny
Yeah.
seeing child actors like that just do like
Yeah.
absolutely terrifying roles like this and
Yeah,
him getting
it's
so
so
fucked up.
Yeah.
Some of
Like,
them
damn,
I
he's
movies
just
remember
a-
thinking, I was like,
yeah,
I
just
was
just
like,
the,
what is he gonna do in this movie? I don't take him seriously. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh fuck.
yeah, just a cute little kid in a band, and then now he's
Yeah.
fucking smashing his face into his desk,
mean,
Yeah.
Think about
slobbering
The
everywhere.
Exorcist, bro. Like you saw that little girl. You imagine you met the Exorcist little girl before that movie came out,
Yeah,
Right,
Reagan.
right.
and you
yeah.
were like, hey, like you met Reagan before that movie, and then you watched it. You were like, what the?
Yeah.
Was that the same fucking little girl I just
Right.
met like
Person.
a week ago? The fuck?
Yeah. One thing I really love about this movie is Toni Collette's performance. Dude, she
Oh
fucking
yes, yes,
kills
yes.
it.
She
Oh
is.
yeah,
she
she
is.
steals the show.
And you know what's funny is she was in what is it? The Sixth Sense.
She was?
Yeah, she was the kid's mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't
Yeah.
remember
Me either.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watched a movie with her a couple days ago. What's that movie with Steve Carell and they're in the van going cross country?
Oh, I don't remember.
Steve
that.
Carell going cross
think
country
I-
in a van. I don't think I've seen that.
I think I know what movie you're talking about.
It's a comedy movie. Little Miss Sunshine, that movie.
Oh, wow, that's exactly
yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just watched that with her the other day.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good movie. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, Toni Collette steals it. Like Jalen was saying, like when that little girl got her head blown off, and then she walks outside the next morning and just wails for like a minute
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
that
dude,
that alone is terrifying. Just her
and how they
scream.
leave it on him in the bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, like that shit's just so the way that shit is shot, dude. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the
And
the cinematography in that
Yeah.
movie. I know I've been saying that a lot.
Yeah,
but
and
that
I-
movie's got crazy cinematography.
And I love how in that scene they focus on him because you think like, bro, what the fuck would I do in that situation? You know,
Right.
Exactly.
Like, would I just like kill myself or something? Like, I don't even know.
Right. And
And then
I love how the shock of that kind of it stays with you while it's already setting up for the next portion of the movie.
Exactly, like
all the other subtle
bro,
shit.
you haven't
that's
seen
going on in
anything
the
yet.
background.
yeah,
Right.
like that's not even the craziest part of that movie, and we're sitting over here highlighting that particular part of that movie.
I meant like
that,
even as
that
like
movie's
your
crazy.
your focus is on that scene still like 20 minutes later, and then there's all this other shit that's getting set up for what happens later. It's like you can't even pay attention because you're like, what the fuck?
And you don't see that shit coming
At all. Yeah.
like
No,
not even
whatsoever.
a little bit. Like you should just hanging
Not
out there.
even a
You
tiny
think
bit.
they're just gonna drive home and they're gonna get home, and that shit just
Right.
happens, dog.
Nope.
Shit just happens.
Yeah.
And you're just left like, I remember just looking at the, like, being literally dumbfounded. I was looking at the screen like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I watched this movie with my mom because me and my mom thought it was just gonna be like a typical, ghost story movie, and we both were like, yeah, let's take a break. What the fuck was that? You know?
Yeah.
That was insane. Because
movie's
you literally don't because even from the trailers, I don't know if y'all ever saw the trailers before it came out.
I did. Yeah. I remember that.
No, I didn't.
It doesn't let you know.
It's not even framed as a horror movie. It's framed as like a
Yeah.
drama movie, like just a family drama, and then all that shit happens.
Yeah, they lied. They fucking
Yeah,
lied.
they lied pretty hard. I kind of like that though, because people went in expecting something else and just got traumatized.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it for horror.
Yeah. Now, the more that I talk about this movie, the more I just want to do a whole episode on it, just because there's so much to say.
Definitely gonna have to rewatch
the
that
influence,
movie.
the influences from The Shining, the influences from Rosemary's Baby. Like, there's just so much there with, the perfectly symmetrical cinematography, and just like Easter eggs in the background. Like there's always like 6 random objects in the background. I don't know if y'all know that one.
I did not.
I didn't know that.
Where there's always 6 of something in the background of every shot. Like there's a scene where Annie's walking down the stairs and there's 6 window panes on the door, or like she's in her art studio and there's exactly 6 paintings on her wall. Stuff like that.
Huh.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
cool.
Yeah. Really good Shining stuff. Like I think it was like 93 in The Shining or something like that. Where like it's numbered 93 everywhere.
That was the thing in The Shining.
Yeah. But
I don't remember what the reason for that was though.
Because Kubrick's just insane. but
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, and just another thing from Kubrick that he takes is just no line is left no line is in there for no reason.
No line's wasted.
Yeah, no line is wasted. Like even at the beginning of the movie, they let you know like something is weird. Like when they're at the funeral and she's giving her eulogy, and she's like, "Oh, there's a lot of new faces here today." And
wow,
you don't even realize it. That's just like every cult member
so
is there.
Subtle.
Yeah. And then when
my mom a witch.
And then you go back and watch it again, and like that scene gives you chills because you're like, wow,
yeah, dude.
I didn't even know that. So much I could say about the movie. I'll save it for later though. Most frightening third act of all time for sure. I still get scared at that third act. It's just
that movie's so good, fool.
It takes every type of like. It takes every type of running down like the hallway scene in like a Conjuring or Insidious or something like that, and just amps it up to 10.
Yeah,
it's insane. But that's Hereditary. That's number 2. Fantastic. Your number 2, Jalen?
I already did my number 2, dog. I'm on that number 1
now.
Oh shit! Okay, number 1.
We're in the end game now, boys.
That end game, final stretch.
Let's go.
See, my number 1 is gonna be Hellraiser.
Ooh, yeah. I figured. I had a feeling you'd put Hellraiser in there.
Yeah, Hellraiser, and for me, extreme gore at a time when extreme gore was not easy to pull off in films. Like it was not easy to get movies out. Like to get everything approved, to get everything put out. Like that movie had the best body horror of any movie I've ever seen. Like he looked so wet. The fact that the way Frank just looked wet the whole movie, as he's just like in this, like when he's like in his still muscle that you can just see, and you can just see all the inner workings of his body. Like the fact they put this dude in this practical effect suit, and if you watch it today, it looks still looks good.
Yeah, it still looks good. Yeah,
and it almost makes people forget. Like people always remember Pinhead. And they always want to remember Pinhead, but Pinhead barely in that movie.
Yeah,
the fact that Pinhead can be barely in that movie, and people remember him more than anything else about that film, speaks to how good that movie is. Because he's barely. I mean, fool, I can count on my hand how many times he shows up in that film.
Yeah, it's just such an iconic look.
And the way when he shows up for the first time, and it's just like the way that movie just feels like the scope of that movie, like it feels so hopeless. Where can you even go? How can you even get away from them once that box is open? Like you're fucked.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
You're fucked. And the only reason why you asked for it, and the only reason why Kirsty didn't get fucked was just because she had an angle.
Right.
But not everybody has an angle.
Right.
In that last scene when dudes hung up and they did that like similar to the Jesus being crucified.
Oh yeah.
And he's hung up like there, and he says Jesus wept before he gets ripped a fucking part. That to me, that alone put it on top of my list.
Yeah.
Like that alone, that scene is just, that whole movie to me is just crazy. I just love practical effects, and I just feel like when he's rising up out the ground, holy shit.
Yeah, there's something so special about gore, practical effects in the 80s, and how they were able to pull all that stuff off. I'm surprised this movie didn't get an NC-17 rating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure they had to cut some stuff out to make it. Not that.
There's like a 3-hour long video on the whole series, but I believe it was this, like the version we got on video was the sort of tailored, like it was like tampered down. You know what I mean? Like it was
I bet.
It was like, this isn't even what I believe it was Clive Barker.
Yes.
This isn't even what he wanted to put out. Like this was like, I mean, most of it he was fine with, but like there was other shit where it was just like, yeah, we're gonna meet you in the middle if you want this to come out. So yeah, what we got was kind of the censored version, believe it or not, which is crazy. But
do you all want to hear something funny about those sequels though? Every movie after that first Hellraiser, with the way that they made these movies, is like they had a script for a completely different film. Let's say it's just a bank heist movie, a script for a bank heist movie, and then they just could not figure out how to get this movie out or whatever. Like so they were like, fuck it, if we put Hellraiser in the movie, like we put Pinhead in the movie. Yeah. If we put Pinhead in the movie, then we can put the movie out and people will recognize Pinhead, and then we can do that. That's why there's so many weird Hellraiser movies that don't feel like they make any fucking sense, or even Hellraiser movies. That's why, bro.
Henry Cavill's in like Hellraiser 4 or some shit.
Yeah, bro, like as an amateur actor.
No,
it's super funny that he's even in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so was Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some really shitty Hellraiser movies, and that new one that came out, I've seen that. That movie is Pinhead's really good in that movie, but overall that movie's kind of trash.
Really? Yeah, it seems like all the reboot franchises are pretty bad.
Well, 1 and 2 I think are the best ones, and then that's about
facts.
it.
1 and 2, because 2 answered all the questions that 1 didn't answer.
Yes. Yeah. You got a lot.
You got a lot of world building in that second movie. Where you went into the world and you got to actually see how it works. And like they're all like have this pain demon that they're all working for, basically.
Yeah.
Because you think and you watch that first movie, Pinhead's the ringleader, but nah, Pinhead worked for another.
One of many.
Just one of many.
Yeah.
So I'm looking here and it says Bob Keane did the practical effects for the movie.
Bob Keane.
Keane, yeah.
Horror legend right there.
Thanks. Let me see. I believe it is. I don't know. I get different answers everywhere, but yeah. Either way, good pick.
Because a lot of
Hellraiser
people worked on it, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't more
Hellraiser,
than one
gory
person.
mess.
Gory mess.
That's my favorite is gore and blood and guts and shit. Love it. Ken, you want to go next? Number 1?
Yeah. So speaking of blood and gore and guts, my number 1 is the original Saw.
Ooh, yes. Also a James Wan movie, yeah.
Slept on. That movie slept on.
Somehow, yeah. I don't know how. Yeah. You know what it is? It's because all the sequels are bad, except for Saw 2. But,
they
that
totally...
movie had me in fits as a kid, man. That movie... I've had many nightmares as a kid because of that movie. Like, it came out in I think in the sort of like the mid 2000s. I want to call it horror renaissance, but not really. Like, all those movies are bad back then, but this was the movie they all tried to copy. You know what I'm saying?
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, because the movie, I mean, especially the way that it ends and everything, it's just like you just don't really see it coming. You know what I'm like? There's nothing. I feel like there's just literally no movie like it in terms of execution.
I agree. In terms of the twist, the fucking twist, man.
Yeah.
That twist is crazy.
Yeah.
it started the trend of like that quick flashy editing too.
Yeah.
That James Wan is so good at.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
especially
did.
like in the end with that twist and everything just comes to a head and the music
Yeah.
ramps up. Oh, it's so good.
It's like what horror movie, like, I mean a lot of horror movies got video games, but this movie got like 6 movies, a couple video games, I
Yeah,
think.
2 video games.
And they're
Yeah.
The
good
first one is
too.
pretty good. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first one's good.
Second
Yeah.
one's shit. But
Yeah.
But
But I mean this, yeah. Yeah, and the fucking Jigsaw. I mean, it's just I just think it's ingenious. I mean,
Fucking-
I think it's James Wan's best like project.
Yeah.
Man, but will y'all agree with me that those movies took a nosedive once they finally killed Jigsaw off? Like, I feel like those movies
Yeah.
should have just stopped after Jigsaw
Yeah.
died. Like, man, like
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
even
bad
know-
after 2. I think
It was-
3 was terrible.
But
When-
it was
when
like
did he die,
on
like,
what
4?
like he died in 4, but it's like
Died in 4,
the
yeah.
way I look at those movies, it's like they were at least like tolerable with him there because he is good
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
But without him there, fuck, those movies are hard to watch.
and
Yeah.
then,
And
Those
and then
movies
you
are
get
crazy hard to watch after him not being there.
you get the bitch with the black hair from the first movie doing it all.
Yeah, man, fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
And like,
They have
and like
secretly the cop was working with them too. Like, man,
Yeah,
like,
it's like, come
shit
on,
just got
come
like
on.
out of hand,
What are we
bro.
doing?
yeah. They
They
tried too
actually
hard to
made a
make more
movie with
twists.
Chris Rock. It's called. I think it's just
Jigsaw?
called Jigsaw.
Just
I
called
never got to
Jigsaw.
see
Yeah,
it.
Jigsaw.
I never seen it.
Apparently, it's
But-
a
Wait, no.
spin-off, but it's apparently pretty good.
The Chris Brown one is called, or not Chris Brown. What the fuck am I saying? Chris Rock one is Spiral.
Spiral, that's
that
what
one
it
was
is,
bad.
yeah.
Jigsaw was the one in 2017, and that one was pretty good. That was a
Oh, I never
reboot
saw that one. Okay,
of like
okay, I didn't see that.
a copycat Jigsaw kinda. That one was pretty good,
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, I gotta watch that.
dude. Yeah, no, Saw 2004.
Yeah,
this
so,
is
yeah.
this is another one of the movies my dad showed me when I was like 9 that I shouldn't have watched.
dude.
I don't know why he made me watch this.
That's me
I
in
loved
House
it
of
so
a
much,
Thousand
though.
Corpses.
Yeah, me too, bro.
man.
Honestly,
I had no business
Um,
watching that movie.
I didn't watch that till I was an adult. Actually, House of a Thousand
Man,
Corpses.
I watched that
Thousand.
one and that
Watched that
with
for
Devil's
20.
Rejects as a very young.
Oh yeah, I was like 8 when that movie came out. Devil's Rejects, I think. Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah, I was like 8. Yeah.
It came out in 2003.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If
No
I'm not
way.
mistaken.
Devil's
Yeah.
Rejects. It came out in
If
2005.
not, it was 05.
Yeah,
If
05.
not,
Have you got Captain
I was about to
Spaulding?
say, there's
rest
no
in
way.
peace.
There was no way I was
Yeah,
3 when
rest
it
in
came
peace,
out.
Yeah.
But dude, no, Saw Carrie Elway's Princess
Oh,
Bride
Carrie Elwes,
actor,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
just getting his entire ankle chopped off.
Yeah, that fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing, you know what's interesting about this movie is
Mm.
in the sequels they focus so much on the torture. There's not that much torture in this movie.
No, it's not.
It's more of a slasher.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's way more than
It's like a
it's way more of
psychological
that than
slasher.
anything else.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
there's-
it's because 2. I think 2 was the one where they were like, let's turn it up to 1,000 because 2 was like where they had the whole group of people.
Yeah, and it
Like,
was in the
rather than
house.
just-
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than just like telling the stories of like individual folks or because the first one was more about like what are you gonna do to survive, like you know. And then 2 was like, what are you all gonna do to survive?
I mean that was the natural progression for that movie though.
Yeah,
For those
sure.
And it's
movies.
like-
they just did too much. Like I feel like that movie is
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
subtlety is key. Like if they would have
Yeah.
been more
Yeah,
subtle
yeah.
with Saw, I feel like it would have been a better movie. They just
Exactly.
like they just got to this point where they were like, "Fuck, we got to keep ramping it up,"
Right.
and it just got goofy.
Like
Shit
they
just
never
got
they never
goofy.
showed any of the actual torture devices in use. They just showed the aftermath of them.
Right.
I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Right.
And the movie's not really that. I mean, it is bloody, of course, but
Yeah.
I think the sequels retroactively make it look bloodier than it actually is.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because that opening scene with the the first torture device where
Yeah,
when you see that actually get used, that sets the scene for the rest of it. It's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Good performance from Danny Glover too. I forgot he was in that movie.
Oh yeah, Danny Glover. That's right.
Got his freaking throat slashed.
in
Actually,
peace.
for what it's worth, I think 2 is a pretty good movie.
Oh no, I
don't
agree.
mind
I
2.
think
2
I
and
like
3.
2.
I like 2.
Yeah.
I just think I think after 2 is when it's like, all right,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
I don't know. I appreciate 3 just because it had the most to do with Jigsaw. And
Gotcha. Right.
And that lady got her face blown off. That was pretty funny.
Oh
So-
yeah. I
But,
saw that on bootleg. I remember watching 3 on bootleg.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was fucking it was terrible.
Wait, how? Like a DVD bootleg?
So back in the day, you could have like you remember like 123movies.com
Yeah,
and shit like
yeah.
that. Like I
Used to be
had a
all over
friend
that.
back then who he ran a website similar to that. So he would just get the latest bootlegs, and I would just watch. I would just stream it online. This was like 2000. It was like 2007 or something like that.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's funny. I actually
Yeah.
I have another story like that too. Me and my grandpa really liked Star Wars, like the prequel Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was like 2000. Episode 3 came out in 2005, right?
Yeah.
So this was like
Yes, it did. Yeah.
this was like a month after, like a month before it released in theaters in 2005. And my granddad came home and he was like, "Hey, I have this Chinese version of Episode 3 that's not in theaters yet. You want to watch it?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And so we just had this Chinese DVD of a movie that wasn't even out yet, and we just saw it before everyone else. And we were like, "Yeah, he turns into Darth Vader in this movie." People were like, "What the fuck?"
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Bootleg. Piracy is morally correct.
My
Yeah,
grandma
please do not pirate.
burned I had like a fucking like a binder full of DVDs that my grandma would burn and send to us from Kentucky. She would just burn like random movies she's never seen. So there'd just be like all sorts of movies that kids just shouldn't be watching. That's the reason why I've seen so many weird ass movies I shouldn't have watched at a young age.
That's badass. And like you write what it is on the Sharpie.
Yeah, that's literally what. And I'd be like,
That's
you go in
badass.
there and you're like, what's There was this one fucking movie, I can't ever remember what it was called, but it was like this like woman with like a fucking unibrow, and she was like always having sex all the fucking time, and I'm like, what the fuck? My grandma
Yeah.
sent me this movie.
Hey, this might be good for kids, huh?
Like Lestat was in there. I mean, Queen of the Dam was in there. I'm like, bro, the
Queen
first
of the
time I watched
Dam.
Queen of the Dam, I was like fucking
Right.
so young. I was like, what the
Goated.
fuck is this movie?
Goated. That movie is goated for sure. Oh,
Queen of the Dam.
Deftones, baby.
They'll end up remaking that shit before I'm dead.
For sure.
Terribly.
They'll play the Aaliyah angle and everything.
Oh, you know they will. They'll get some new R&B person to be.
Right.
All right, my number one. If you know me, you already know what it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I do.
I do.
You know what it is, Jalen?
Yes.
Halloween, baby, 1978. Let's go. Greatest slasher movie of all time. Greatest horror movie of all time. John Carpenter
Sure
is
is.
a genius. Captain Kirk Mass is iconic. Michael Myers, greatest slasher of all time. You already know what
Sucks
it
now.
is. Yeah, well, no, fuck you.
Yeah, don't even try, nigga. That last movie was bad. Just take that L. Take
Yeah,
that
the last
L. That
movie
movie
was
sucked.
bad. All right. But we're not here to talk about ends, all right? Save an episode for that. 'Cause that movie was shit, all right? It tried to take too much from Halloween 3, and it ended up
Way
flopping
too
just
much.
like Halloween 3 did. But anyway, Halloween 1978. A budget of $300,000, and they made like $70 million off it.
Still
You know,
can't believe it.
instant
insane.
hit. 100% all across the board. Everything is perfect about the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen, of course. Nick Castle, brooding, terrifying. I don't even think, how tall is Nick Castle? Because like every other Michael Myers that has played has been like at least 6'3",
Yeah.
and Nick Castle's
He's-
like just a normal guy.
Oh, so you're like, man.
He's just a normal guy.
Yeah, dude. Nick Castle's 5'10",
The fuck? He's my
and
height.
he probably weighs like 170 pounds, and he's like more
Yeah.
terrifying than any other Michael Myers. Sans the Rob Zombie Michael Myers, which is
I was
Tyler
about to say
Mane.
that.
Tyler Mane is
killed it.
horrifying,
Horrifying.
but that has to do with the mask too. But
And how gory
Yeah.
that movie was. He was just a savage in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I like those movies for what they are. I know they get a lot of hate, but I love those movies. I don't care. I just love Rob Zombie. That's why. But dude, the score in this movie, like I said, the performances, just everything about it. I can't say enough about it. Yeah, I've talked ad nauseum about it. Anything y'all have to say?
Honestly,
Shit.
I think it's like how do I explain this? I enjoy Halloween 4 more than I do the original, which is I know how crazy that sounds.
Oh, so
But-
you're a so you're a dumbass. I'm just kidding.
No, I objectively know that the original is better
No, I'm
for
just
sure.
kidding.
It's
I'm
just, as a
inclined to
kid-
agree with you because Halloween 4 was the first one I ever saw.
I was
So
gonna say, as a kid, 4 was the only one that I watched as a kid. But you know, I still appreciate the original for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I'm
my
inclined to
favorite
agree with
one
you.
was the one with Busta Rhymes.
Oh,
That's
H2O.
one of my
Trick or treat,
favorite. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Ah,
No, if I could say what my favorite with that, I would have to go with Halloween. My favorite Halloween is Halloween 4 as well, though, because it was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that plays, I feel like, the most on TV for some reason. I don't
at that time,
it.
I feel like that was the one that people put on. I was on TV,
Dude,
and
that movie. I don't like. None of us grew up in the '80s, so we don't know. But that movie blew up because I mean, like they're coming off Halloween 3, right? And Halloween 3 was shitted on so hard because people were like, "Where's Michael?
Witch, right?
Where's Michael?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then Halloween 3, I believe, came out in like '83 or something.
Right.
It came out in '82, and then Halloween 4 came out in '88. So there was 6 years of people asking, "Where's Michael? Where's Michael?" And then this movie came out, and not only did they bring back Michael, but they brought back Loomis. So everyone just flocked to see this movie.
You had this with Loomis, and that actor playing Loomis that's the best Loomis.
Yeah. The only Loomis, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you had to see it if you liked Halloween, and everyone liked Halloween because I mean it's you know, like I said, 300K to 70 million. You know.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
that's got to be like an all timer right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie is
like
perfect.
as far as money made.
I will say the first movie, it is a little slow. It could be paced a little bit better, maybe cut off 10 minutes from it. There is a lot of walking around Haddonfield, not doing anything.
Yeah, there is.
But I mean, that's just a sign of the times. That's the '70s.
I was gonna say that's forgivable. All of it.
That's a lot of '70s just tension building. But yeah, other than that,
Friday the 13th did that better, I would say. The opening.
The opening, it's all right. I guess.
You don't think so? When Friday the 13th, when she's walking through that town, you think the whole time, like at that, you have to think this is the 80s. At the time, the first person you see, you think that's the final girl. She's walking through that town. The fact she even got killed was shocking.
Right.
They trick you into thinking like she's the main character as she's going through this town and shit, and then she's not. She gets fucking murdered before she even gets there. And then you're left like, what? How the fuck? Like, who the fuck's the main character then?
Yeah, you know how I feel about Friday the 13th.
And who's the killer?
I'm not gonna say anything about Friday the 13th.
I honestly just said that to piss Dylan off.
I'm showing my bias here, but I think the original Friday the 13th is massively overrated.
He does not like that.
I don't like the first person. Yeah. The kills are all right, whatever.
Man, the first person is so you don't know who the killer. If you knew who it was, an old lady from the beginning, that movie would be weak, dog.
I mean, yeah, of course, but it's like, you know, you could put a mask on her or something. You know?
No, it's an old lady in a mask.
And then when you know,
I can tell it's an old lady in a mask.
When you know the twist, and then you go back and watch the movie, you're like, okay, this movie isn't as good as I thought it was the first time I saw it.
I agree to that.
The only good movie
that's why they were like, fuck it, let's go
that
Jason.
kill with Kevin Bacon in the bed, though. You can't sleep on that.
Yeah, that's the only good part of
That's
the
a
movie.
solid kill.
Kevin Bacon.
The hand comes up behind the bed. Come on, don't play with me. That's a good kill. Don't play with me. I understand you don't like the movie, but don't shit on the kill. Arrow through the neck, bro, on the back part of the bed.
The movie is.
Come on.
The movie is good. I just don't think it's as good as all the other slasher intro movies, like especially like what's it called, Nightmare on Elm Street, or
I mean, it
Texas
had
Chainsaw.
didn't have its identity yet, and we're still talking about old lady. And this movie's about a hockey mask guy with the machete, which by the way, he only uses the machete in like one movie.
Right.
Like I can count on my hand how many movies he really uses a machete all the time.
That's actually very true.
That guy just
That's
does whatever
super
he
funny
wants.
that people remember that movie the way they remember it, because he had a bag on his head in the second movie. He didn't even have a hockey mask.
Yeah, he didn't get his hockey mask till like 4, right?
The third
three?
one, and he didn't use a
3.
fucking machete. The only kill he used a machete in is when he killed that kid going down the stairs.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so
that
weird.
wheelchair kid going down the
Yeah,
stairs,
'cause-
and he put that machete in the side of his head.
Yeah, that's interesting because every slasher is intrinsically tied to their weapon, and he doesn't have a weapon, so they just kind of like put one on him.
No,
Like, oh, he's a
he
machete.
used his
I guess.
hands more. If anything, he used his hands more than anything else in those movies. He'd grab niggas and just break their necks or crush their heads and shit.
Like
And he's a zombie. Niggas don't talk about that too.
yeah. Is he a zombie
He's
or
a
does he just
zombie.
never die?
I mean, he's not a zombie in the first couple movies, but when the lightning bolt hits his grave and he comes out of it with the machete, he's
that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
He's a zombie.
That's an awful movie. That doesn't count.
That doesn't. What, nigga? Are we really doing this? Are we doing this? Are we? That movie is awful, but your movie's got some bad movies too. Talk about he's a part of a cult.
Hey man,
Michael's in a cult.
All right.
Michael's in a cult. When he pulled that sleeve down and you see that stupid tattoo, come on, that movie was weak as fuck.
Hey, that mask kudo.
That mask kudo. Well, that practical effects, fucking Friday the 13th, fucking Jason was badass too though. When he took off his mask, that's the best looking Jason. Where he looked like a zombie.
We got to do a Friday the 13th ranking and a Halloween ranking at some point. I have all 8 movies except
I do
Jason
too.
X. I need to.
Jason,
I've seen.
You can skip that one.
Yeah, that's what kids say.
You can skip that one.
It's fun to watch, man.
You know he fights a cyborg in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she
fights
dies in like 30
dominatrix
seconds.
Cyborg. She's dressed like a dominatrix.
Fuck that bitch
she's
up
a
too.
cyborg. Yeah, he fucked her ass up. Why is there a Why do bad horror movies go to space?
My favorite throwaway line from that movie is when they first take her out of cryostasis or whatever, and they're recovering her, and they're like, "Yeah, the woman in the hospital," and the pilot's like, "Woman." All right. I think I sent you a video of that when I saw it, Jalen.
All right.
But yeah, that's our top 5 horror movies. You guys want to do some honorable mentions real quick before we head out?
Shit, well, for me, my honorable mentions aren't really honorable. They're more like dishonorable because they're movies that I like that I know aren't really good.
All right, go ahead.
That'd be my number one is going to be, I'm just going to rattle them off real quick.
Yeah, just rattle them off.
My number one's going to be Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Then we got Army of Darkness, Basket Case. Then we got The Ghoulies. And then Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Which one, the first one or the second one?
You already know which one I'm talking about. That second one.
Garbage Day.
Garbage Day. The one with all the memes.
Red car. Good point.
Good point. That movie's so shitty, dude. That movie's so quotable. It's so shitty.
It's so funny because the first movie is the first 45 minutes of that movie, and then it just gets into the second one.
It just gets into the second one. That movie's so bad, dude. Oh my god. How you can play 45 minutes of a different movie on top of your new movie?
Have you seen the trailers for the new Santa Claus horror movie?
Oh my god, yeah. You know who's playing? It's Hopper. Playing as
Santa
Santa
Claus. I saw that, yeah. I'm actually interested. I kind of want to go see it.
He's a good actor. I want to see it just off that basis.
Yeah.
And the Santa Claus Kill movie was actually kind of good.
Which one?
The one with Goldberg as Santa. Have y'all ever seen that?
I've seen that one.
There's a movie where Santa Claus kills people and Goldberg, the wrestler, is fucking Santa Claus.
Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh. Movie's retarded, but it's actually good.
I have heard of that, but
that movie's really good. Watch it around Christmas time.
Huh. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Christmas. So, like, my one of my honorable mentions is Krampus.
Ooh,
yeah, that one's good.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That movie that movie got exactly the type of like praise it deserved when it came out. People
not at
loved
all,
Krampus.
man. Not at all.
Really, I thought at least my house people loved Krampus.
REC. For me, like the original REC, not that quarantine shit.
REC.
Yeah.
From 2007.
Yeah, not the it's like. It's the one, I think it's in Spain, I think that one?
Yeah, Spanish one. Yeah,
Spanish one. And VHS.
Oh, yeah, VHS is good.
The Host, too. That's another Korean, like.
Which VSS?
The first one.
Okay.
I mean, I like both of them. I like the first two, but.
There's a shit ton, bro. There's more than 2.
There's 4 now, apparently. Someone just told me the other day there's 4. I was like, what?
There's a new one out called VHS 99 on Shudder. Came out like a month ago.
VHS 99? No, that's fucking interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's on Shudder if you wanna watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Well, I think my homie was telling me about it. He was like, "Yeah, that shit sucks," but I was like, "I'm gonna check it out anyway."
It's funny because all the VHS movies aren't really that good, but there's always that one. There's always that one story that just freaks you out. It makes the movie a lot better.
It makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Like I think the first one had the
dude in the hotel.
Yeah, the succubus or whatever. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that one elevated that movie.
That's good. That one's good. Yeah, the succubus is
Absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
All right, my honorable mentions. I put House of a Thousand Corpses, of course.
Of course.
Suspiria. Uh,
Suspiria.
yeah,
Yeah.
I put Terminator 1. I didn't know if it was a horror movie or not, but I put it because it's honestly shot like a horror movie.
That needs
So
to
I
be.
just
We
threw
need
it
to
in
make.
there.
We just need to make a fucking episode about that because I agree with you on that.
Like the second and third one obviously aren't, but the first one, it's just the way James Cameron does it. It just looks just like a horror movie. Nosferatu from 1912, I think, or 1922.
The
Have y'all
classic
seen-
one, like the one where SpongeBob fucking Nosferatu and he's.
Yeah. Have y'all seen the original one?
I
I
have.
have
I,
none.
I have a classic DVD with all that with it in
Dude,
there.
it is still scary 100 years later. That's pretty impressive.
It's a pretty scary movie. It's still solid.
And
He's
you know,
so
they didn't have-
creepy looking.
Yeah, and they didn't have any CGI or anything. So how did they make that scene where he's floating his coffin into the wagon? You know?
Don't fucking
just
know.
little stuff like that is just like breaking boundaries in film. It's great. But anyway, The Shining. The only reason I didn't put The Shining in my top 5 is because I haven't seen it enough to give a firm opinion on it. But I do love it. And
No, it's a good. Yeah.
and Dawn of the Dead 2004, just because my first zombie movie. I love Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. That's your
Sir.
favorite zombie movie?
I don't know. Maybe the original Dawn of the Dead. They're torn because the remake is really good.
You know, I
original-
always torn like what the fuck it's called, but the one in the mall was my favorite.
That is
one.
Dawn of the Dead.
The Dawn
Yeah,
of
it's
the
Dawn
Dead
of the
then.
Dead. Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
them all fucked up and mixed up in my head for real.
Which
Oh,
one? The
is
old
there?
one or the new one?
There's like Land of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, fucking. There's so
Yeah,
many
I was gonna
different
say
of the
there's
Dead
one with
movies.
Ving Rhames.
If you watch as many of the Dead zombie movies as I did, you would be confused.
Yeah, Dawn of the
Yeah.
Dead is the one you're talking about because it's got Ving Rhames. I remember Ving Rhames is in the mall. And
Ving
Yeah,
Rhames
that's
in
that's,
the mall,
that's the
yes.
remake. Yeah, that's the remake.
The only thing that I hate about that movie is that the fucking blood looks like paint.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
that's Zack
that
Snyder
movie is
for you.
good though, but that blood looks like paint.
Land of the Dead is the sequel. That's why it's right after.
Land of the Dead is the one where they're in like they can swim and shit and they can
They
use
got like
guns.
that town.
Yeah.
They had a whole town, like
Yeah.
with
That one-
zombies and shit.
That bald black dude, and he's like leading the zombies or whatever.
Yeah. That one is
he's
also
starting to
a-
get his
It's
intelligence back.
supposed to be the smart. It's supposed to be the smart zombie movie or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, where
that one's
he's
also
shooting that M16 in that movie.
that one's also a criticism on classism in America by
Yeah.
George A. Romero. George A. Romero is pretty spoken out of his stuff too.
Yeah.
Like on Night of the Living Dead, where the black dude gets shot at the very end.
Right.
The
Right.
original
Yeah,
one.
but was he? I've seen an interview talking about George Romero didn't intend for it to be a fucking like stance on race. Like people
probably-
just kind of made that, kind of put that own interpretation on that movie without. He didn't look at it like that when he made it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's still progressive to have a black guy as a main character in the '60s.
I definitely, but
Yeah.
like in terms of like, because people want to, because the thing about that movie is like he wasn't. Cause people want to say, oh, he wasn't a zombie at the end, and they shot him because
Right.
they saw that he was black, and they just didn't
Yeah.
even bother to find out if he was a zombie or not. They just seen he was black and said, fuck it, shoot him.
yeah.
And like, but that's something you can imply knowing history. But George Romero wasn't thinking that when he made the fucking movie.
Yeah, and he may
That's
have
all I'm saying.
he may have retroactively started doing stuff like messages and stuff like that after he saw the reception from the first one.
I'm
Right.
thinking
Was
so
like,
too.
okay. He was
'Cause
like,
he
okay,
definitely
it's
did
okay.
it later in his career.
Yeah, like it's okay to put messages in your movies, and of course, maybe looking at John Carpenter too, because he's very outspoken from what I said earlier with
Yeah.
They Live and all that. So, but yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Have y'all seen the original one?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
It's
seen
like-
it in black
it's like-
and white.
It's like
Yeah, like
impossible
my
to
one, yeah.
find. They have like a
I-
re-release on
You know,
Blu-ray.
really,
They
I
played it on-
actually
they
have
played
it
it
on
on TV.
DVD, Dylan.
Really?
Yeah, you remember that big box set I gave you? It has that movie in it.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that then.
It's in
Yeah.
black and white.
They played
That's
it on
the
TV.
first
like,
version I've ever seen of it. Was that version?
They played the original one on TV.
Yeah, back when The Walking Dead was like, way more popular.
Yeah.
What they would do is they would run Halloween marathons, like zombie movie marathons, and that was one of them that they used to play all the time
yeah.
on
It's
AMC.
it's really hard to find because because that movie was produced by like Italian producers or something, and
Mhm.
they want the rights to it, but Romero wants the rights.
So maybe something. But I distinctly remember watching it on TV.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah, no, I need to get that Blu-ray set, but it's like $50.
Bro, just borrow my shit.
Nah, I want to see it in
You
color.
can definitely watch it.
I want to see those blue zombies.
Man, I want to see that. I like watching it in black and white because I feel like I'm watching it how they watched it.
Yeah, the black and white is pretty dope.
It's
like
almost.
Came out
I feel like the movie's better in black and white. I've seen it.
it
both
is.
ways.
I think so. I think it's. Yeah, I couldn't imagine watching it in like
in color, bro. It's better in black and white, Dylan.
Didn't it come out in like '78? Why would it shot in black and white?
It's budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, so it was originally in black and white and then got turned into color?
It's originally
or was it
in black and white.
Oh shit! Oh, so that's why the zombies are blue then.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know.
Bro, go. But seriously,
I only watch
if
it in
you're ever
color.
at the crib, if you ever come over, if at some point I'll put that DVD in so you can see it. It's originally in black and white.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just thought he liked blue zombies or something.
Nah, bro, it looks better too in black and white. Like the cinematography when the zombies are moving through the fucking like the woods in the dark. It's way better in black and white, bro. It's like it's so much better.
Now that you mention it, I do kind of see it because like when they're in the helicopter and they're looking at the mall and all those small zombies are just like blue specks and you're like, this looks kind of weird. It might look a lot better in black and white. So you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got for you boys. Top 5 horror movies.
Yes,
You want to rattle off our list real quick once again, just so you know, don't forget anything.
Oh, okay. I'll do mine first. I got number 1, Hellraiser. Number 2, American Psycho. Number 3, The Thing, Creep Show, and then we got Insidious.
Ken?
All right. So mine number 1 was Saw. Number 2 was The Witch. Number 3, Shudder. Number 4, Jeepers Creepers, and number 5, Cabin in the Woods.
All right. For me, I had number 1, Halloween. Number 2, Hereditary. Number 3, 28 Days Later. Number 4, Eraserhead, and number 5, They Live.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Anything else y'all got to say, or can we get out of here?
I think we're good. I'm good.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening to whoever's listening to our first episode of Corpses Reign podcast. Probably have this up on YouTube, Spotify, put it up on Anchor, the usual stuff. Try iTunes too. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Episode 1, bitches. Episode 1.
That's it.